Hello, and welcome to the Mild and Lazy Guys podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Matt.
And I'm Andrew.
And we are back once again, late as usual. Life just keeps getting in the way. If we would just only ignore our family and our jobs and our responsibilities, we could do this thing.
Let's just get an apartment. Let's just abandon everybody and just get like a mobile home and live
are we broing out?
I'm down.
Okay.
I think we'll get like delinquency divorce papers, but
all right. Before you get started, let me ask you to please follow us on Instagram at Mild and Lazy. Give us a follow on Spotify so you can get notifications when we drop episodes. Give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. That would be greatly appreciated. Andrew.
Yes.
Just got a testosterone injection before I came over. I have a 4-pound Chipotle burrito in me.
The fuck? Where's this going? Okay.
Let's see. Crippling depression. I'm rock hard and ready to go. So let's do this.
All right. I don't know what to say next.
What have you been up to?
I went to Chick-fil-A. What have I been up to? Well, Ellie started school today.
Yep.
Today was the official start for Waxahachie.
Today's a big day. It's kindergarten.
It is a big day, man.
Big day.
I took off on everything. I even put on my request off form that I need the day off to cry.
Did mom cry?
You know, she's a lot stronger than I am. Like she just looks at me like I'm such a weak little pussy, and I'm like, what? It's a big day, because like right when we were leaving, like everyone's like dancing on the floor. It was kindergarten, so they just fuck around. They don't know what they're doing. And Ellie's like sitting at a table by herself and starts crying because she said she's so shy.
Oh gosh!
And I was like, I'm trying to leave right now, and you're gonna cry now? Like you're gonna make me cry? So she had a tear welling up in her eye and coming down. So I felt one coming up in my eye, and I just tried to talk to her. I was like, look, you're gonna make friends. She's been to daycare and a Montessori. I was like, it's just like that.
Yep.
Like you're not gonna make friends. Maybe not day one, but like you have all year to get to know these kids, and by the end of the year, you're not going to want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So it was tough, but so then we dropped her off. Oh, and I was going to say, she goes to Marvin now. And did you know Marvin? I'm so proud of this stat. Marvin is a biomedical STEM academy.
Yeah, I knew that.
1 of 5 in the country.
That's awesome.
1 of 5 in the whole country. So not that she's going to like kill it. I mean, she'll probably be, just totally like, what's it called? Not doggy paddling, but treading water.
She's just like treading.
She's gonna peak later on. But I just thought that was a really cool school.
No, that is cool,
and it's really close. So we dropped her off, and then we were gonna. So we had the whole day off together. And we had it all planned out, awesome. And of course nothing went to plan. We went to an antique store, got some cool stuff. I got like a cool Louis L'Amour, the little Western rider.
Yeah,
it's like, man, my grandpa used to read these all the time. I bought one of those and like an old postcard to use as a bookmark, and we got a really cool Chinese checkers board. So then the rest of the day we were going to go get some new tires, because my tires are fucking bald. Like it's almost like flush. There's no tread in those tires. So I was like, I need to do this. Well, Claire called a plumber before, so it was a big day for us. Let me keep going here. So we've had like this terrible stench in our bathroom that's just lingered all. You probably noticed it. Anybody that goes in our bathroom, it just smells like stale farts all the time. It smells like mold and shit just coming from our bathroom. So we finally called about it, because it's been going on for months. And they were like, okay, yeah, we'll send somebody out. Well, we weren't here. My mom had come by to watch Owen. And while we were out, I called Walmart. I was going to get new tires. I figured it all out. Waxahachie turned out they didn't have them, so we're going to have to go to Midlothian. So we're on our way to Midlothian. Plumber people show up. They were going to do their thing. Well, ended up, of course, a simple job's never as simple as it seems. So a $250 job turned into a $1,175 job.
Ugh.
Yeah, they found the problem, and there was basically just like where the seal's supposed to be, where it meets the PVC meets the toilet.
Yeah,
like there was a big crack there, and he's like, it's literally just like shit's just like.
And there's like a ring.
Like, he was like, what was he gonna do? Is he was gonna resettle the ring, and that was gonna, because they just had to take the toilet up, reset a new ring, and resettle it. Yeah. Well, that's where like another $1,000 issue came up. So we were doing all that, and then Claire was just, we have to be there for this. Like, we have to leave. So I literally got to the Target in Midlothian. I pulled up to the dock bay, like right where I'm supposed to be. And then the guy comes out, and he's like, hey, your wife says you got to go. And I said, what? He's like, yeah, she said it was like something about your house that you got to leave right now. And I was just like, well, I guess if the boss says we got to go, I got to go. And he goes, yeah, I got one of those too. Like, he was cool about it. And I was like, well, fuck me. I look like a pussy right now. Like, my wife just says, like, hey, we got, like, snapping her fingers, like, we got to go.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's go. Come back. Yeah, we get all that settled. $1,175 later. But they did a good job. It was Duncan Plumbing here in town.
Yeah.
Couldn't say enough about them. They really did a great job. They were really cool. They explained everything to us like in layman's term, because I hate when people try to explain stuff to you and you're just looking at them like you're fucking like a deer in headlights. Like, bro, this is going, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to forget it immediately. But he was really cool, explained everything, told us what to look out for. So anyways, we get done with that, and immediately our day's over, because now we have to go pick up Elizabeth. We're late to pick up Elizabeth. And, dude, you probably have already dealt with this because Landry's been in school for a minute. That pickup line is no joke.
It's no joke, bro.
We were in line for an hour. The way it is, you basically make a big square. You go up like 4 blocks before you finally get to the school. Luckily, Owen was cool and wasn't crying, and, you know, we had music in the car, but I was just losing it, because I was like, we were there for an hour, and we finally pulled up, and just not how you envision it. You know, you finally get a day off with your wife, and you're like, oh, we're going to do all these things. We were going to go get a Philly cheesesteak from that place. We were going to go to all these cool shops. I was going to get tires. None of that happened. I ended up paying to fix a toilet was my whole day. And, you know, I spent all that money, and I'm going to get the tires tomorrow, but I'm going to spend like $2,000 in like 2 days just for a toilet repair and some tires. It's like the most boring adult thing you can do.
Yeah, adulting isn't fun sometimes.
Dude, it's not. It's just going to work so you can pay bills and hang out with the only people that you like. Like, that's the perk. It's like, well, at least I like these people.
Yeah.
I'll get to see Matt. I get to hang out with my family.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but we rearranged that furniture.
I did.
Bro.
I did notice it.
I was going to say, how white and old am I that my peak of my week was we rearranged our furniture, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
there's so much more space now.
So much more room for activity.
It is. Like, we can lay a rug in there. We can let the boy play. I was like, this really opened up this room. I was like, I'm officially in my mid-30s now.
Yeah.
I was like, I just need a new lamp and a new rug, and I'm set.
Check all the boxes. You got a stable job. You got a wife and kids. You've got a podcast, and now
I'm the whitest person that you know.
You've peaked. You're peak white middle age.
Hey, I'm living the dream.
Oh yeah. Nothing's been going on with me. Work. We are the proud new owners of a bearded dragon named Cheesecake.
What is a bearded dragon?
You don't know what a bearded dragon is? He's like a lizard.
No, apparently I got to see a picture. And his name is Cheesecake?
Landry named him Cheesecake.
Obviously, Landry named him. That was a given. So where did you get this guy?
Facebook. Facebook.
You got a bearded dragon named Cheesecake off Facebook.
So here's the deal. So Landry's been wanting this thing for a while, and this is one of those things where this is like the first major thing I've made him earn. So I had this arbitrary like point system in my head, and I'm like, all right, you need 50 points to get this bearded dragon. This is Cheesecake, by the way.
Oh, he looks cool as hell.
Yeah, he's real cool, and they're like the dogs.
But bearded, I pictured like a big throat or something.
Yeah, like they can fluff out their beard, like when they're threatened or like, you know, threatened or like stressed.
That looks really cool.
But bearded dragons are like the dogs of reptiles. Like, they're real chill. Like, he'll chill on me, and he'll get down, and he'll like chill on the couch, and they don't bite. I mean, they do bite, but I mean, it's very rare to get.
Yeah, it's not like they got like fangs.
No. Yeah. So I was like, all right, man, you got to earn this. You got to get 50 points. I don't know where I got 50 from, but you know, and I would give them, and I didn't keep track of it like I should have, like on a board or piece of paper or something. But I was like, hey, man, you do what you're supposed to. You get, you know, if I tell you to go clean your room, you clean your room, that's like 2 points. Or, you know, if you have a good week at school, that's like 2 points. So, you know, over like 6 months, and I forgot about it and remembered and added points and probably gave him fewer points than what he had. Oh, you know, give and take over the 6 months. But long story short, I did a bunch of research on how to take care of this guy and everything. And so we go down to PetSmart and buy one, and they're like babies. Get him home, and he doesn't last too long.
What do you mean?
He dies.
Who did? The first one?
The first one. Cheesecake won.
Oh, my God.
So then I found out.
Does Landry know, or was it like...
No, he knows.
Him the next day?
He knows because Cheesecake 1 was like the size of my hand.
He died in his arms.
It was like the size of my hand.
Uh-huh.
Cheesecake 2 is...
Big boy.
He's grown. Okay. So I had to explain to him, but the more I researched, I realized like PetSmart and Petco, these big box stores, the way they buy their animals is like pretty unethical, and they buy them in mass.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah.
Wow.
They buy them in mass, and like they're usually not in real good health. So I learned the hard way, like that's not the way to go. Like you either go to a breeder or you get on these Facebook groups, join these Facebook groups, and people are looking to rehome all the time. So that's exactly how we got Cheesecake 2. Cheesecake 2 lady had like 3 or 4 of them. She was moving. She needed to get rid of one. He came with his enclosure, which was much bigger than the one we had. Bunch of supplies, and it was $100.
Nice.
And we paid $80 for Cheesecake 1. He was a baby. He didn't come with shit. Just the dragon.
Dumb bearded dragon. Had to
Yeah. So we got Cheesecake 2. He's really cool. They're omnivores, so they eat like fruits, like greens, and like meat. So like crickets, worms, stuff like that. So he'll eat out of my hand. He loves blueberries. I figured out.
You know who else loves blueberries?
Who?
Beagles.
Beagles.
According to Fantastic Mr. Fox. Always remember that. Beagles love blueberries.
Beagles are cool dogs.
Beagles are cool dogs. My mom had one forever. R.I.P. Baxter.
I have a Baxter. R.I.P. to him too. Damn. Not a good day for Baxters.
I'll say both Baxter's gone.
Not a good day for Baxters.
But they live both good long lives.
Oh, yeah,
Our dog was like 15.
Yeah, Baxter was like 13 or 14.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. They were good dogs.
Yeah.
Man, I found out sorry to cut you off, but they'll never hear this. My grandma and my aunt now live together, and they fucking put their dog down just because he got a little wild a couple times. They put him down on choice. He was like 8 years old. I was giving my mom all this shit. Yeah, what was his name? I think, oh my God, his name was Baxter.
Shut the fuck up.
Really? Oh no, it was Buddy.
Okay.
I was going to say,
there's a Baxter conspiracy.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, because my grandma's dog, Lily, died, but Lily had like fucking tumors everywhere.
Yeah.
She was it was time for her to go. And she's like, oh yeah, and they put Buddy down. I was like, what they put him down for? Oh, he scratched at the door a lot, and he kind of made a mess, and grandma didn't like him. And I said, so y'all put him down?
Your aunt and grandmother are psychopaths.
Dude, and I was like, why couldn't you give him a new home? They're like, well, we couldn't give him to a shelter because he wasn't fixed, and they were already so full, and they couldn't find anybody to get rid of him. And what's fucked up is it was my uncle's dog, and my uncle passed away this past year. So it's like, dang.
They just reunited.
Buddy and Uncle Mike, meeting up, running in field to heaven together. That's good, I guess.
Good God, dude, that's cold-hearted.
It is. I didn't mean for it to take like a dead dog turn.
Watch your P's and Q's around those two. You get out of line, you may be next.
Dude, grandma don't play.
Nuh-uh.
My grandma is like old school.
I grew up in another era.
Yeah.
Damn. But yeah, no, we got cheesecake, and today was Landry's first day of school last year was a lot of tears.
Yeah, I figured kindergarten's like the toughest.
Yeah, for Landry, even though like he would go to daycare, like, you know, from the time he was like 6 months till kindergarten, it was different, you know. Mom and dad, you know, you're at a different, you know, kind of level. But, and I think he had a tough time maybe that first 2 or 3 days, but then after that,
oh, I totally expected like the first few to be tough. And what was getting me is thinking like, I wonder what she's doing right now. Like, I hope she's not like just by herself. You know, I was just thinking like, I hope if she's at least like talking to somebody or making a friend, I hope she's just not like that kid by herself.
I had those thoughts too, but then we would get like, there's this app called Seesaw.
Yeah, my sister told us about that.
Yeah, there's Seesaw, and if you have a good teacher, which...
Oh, yeah. Shout out Ms. Dively. Forgot. She's like 28-year veteran, so that's cool.
Oh, sweet, yeah. So if they're good, they're like uploading to Seesaw, you can see, and we would get pictures and stuff, and we all have that fear, but I think we don't give them as much credit as we need to. Like
Claire said that too.
Like Landry took off, and you know he excelled socially, you know, and academically.
Like surprised you.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah, I think the same's going to happen.
He was fine, but you know, on the other hand, it's kindergarten, so. But yeah, so today was his first day of school.
Did you go to work?
Yeah, but we did walk him in.
Yeah.
We had to, you know, we walked him to class and stuff, and he did, you know, to give you some hope for Ellie, he did make a friend, and that was his buddy. That was his person at school.
He already knew him?
Yeah, no.
He already made friends that quick?
No, last year.
Oh, it was
kindergarten.
Last year.
So he was friends, you know, all through the year, and then over the summer, we actually got together with him and his parents a few times, and the parents are cool. They're nice. We get along. So, yeah, Landry's got his little buddy, but he did, when we had Meet the Teacher night on Tuesday, he was bummed because he was going around looking at all the names on the desks, and he didn't see Vincent's name, and he was like...
Oh, he's told me about him.
Yeah,
when I was over for... Was it the draft? I guess it was. He was talking about Vincent.
Yeah, that's his buddy.
Now that you bring that up, that's one thing that I dread about having kids is I have to now meet other parents and interact with them because of our kids.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
I wasn't thrilled with the idea, but when it's for your kid, I think you approach it totally different. It's that sacrifice you'll make. And luckily, like these guys are really cool. Like we went to It's called like
Twin Peaks.
No, like Level Up or Game On or something. It's an arcade in Arlington. They have a full bar.
Oh,
so we just drank a few beers. They were drinking beers, and we hung out, let the kids play. It's like one of those things, like $10 to get in. Oh, it's called Free Play in Arlington,
and they charge money.
It's get this.
That's a bullshit name.
It's a $10 cover, but then all the games are on Free Play, so you can play as many games.
So that it's a $10 charge, and then you pay for food and alcohol.
And
that's
then
cool.
but the games are all free.
So the kids are basically free. Oh, from that point on, free because they're probably just gonna get like a funnel cake.
Yeah, and then they have like a little kitchen with like pizzas, and
that's cool.
It was a cool little spot. But yeah, so to give you some hope for Ellie will make a friend.
I think I made my first dad friend.
Did you?
This guy across the street, they have it's this nice house that they just redid. Like they moved in, it was kind of not like a junkie house, not like literally junkie people live there, like heroin junkies, but just kind of run down.
Yeah.
And they probably put like $30,000 into it, like remodeled the whole thing. And I saw them; they were like the most popular people on the block. People would drive by and just start talking to them, and I'm like, thank God that's not me. Like I don't want anybody to stop at my house and try to talk to me, but. Finally, me and Claire were like, look, we have to go. The whole neighborhood knows these people. Let's go over there. And we went over there, and they're actually really cool. His name's Danny, and he's from Peru. He's Peruvian, which is fucking exotic as hell. His wife is named Patty. She's really cool. And they have a little girl named Elizabeth. She's a year older, and they have another boy named Danny. And then they each had a child from a separate relationship. So they each have like two 12-year-old boys. But, yeah, and Claire and Ellie, I think she goes by Ellie too. Like they got along. I said Claire and Ellie. Both Ellies got along really well, and that's the first dad that I actually became kind of friends with from my children.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
I made like my first dad friend, and
see, it's not bad.
Well, I'll tell you what he did do that drove me crazy. We were sitting on the porch one day just chilling out, and he pulled up to me. And he's like, "Hey, I got something for you." And he hold the beer out. So I was like, "Oh, okay." I went and grabbed the beer. I appreciate it. And then he just starts talking to me, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" He wants to actually have a conversation in the middle of the road. I hate people that just stop in the middle of the road,
Oh, yeah.
He's just parked right there. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is going to go on for a minute. And after like 5 fucking minutes, he goes like this, puts it in park. I said, oh, fuck me, man. Like, he's going to wait until a car pulls up to end this conversation. I ain't got nothing to say to this guy. I don't even know his last name. Like, what are we going to talk about?
God.
So we just sit there and bullshit. And then thankfully a car comes and he's like, all right, man, I'll see you later. I was like, okay, later. I saw him there yesterday too, though. And, made a child predator joke to his wife that she liked. She's actually pretty
nice.
funny. Yeah. She said something about how they look creepy. And I was like, technically I'm not even supposed to be in the school, within 100 yards of any school. And she kind of looked at me and she knows I'm kidding.
Child predator jokes can be iffy.
They're hit or miss. You got to know your audience.
Yeah.
But the first time we ever hung out, I made some, I just make like offhanded jokes that'll catch you off guard. And I remember her saying like, oh, like I got to watch out for you. Like, I don't know. She said like I'm funny or like you say different stuff. I was like, yeah.
Around their house, have you seen any pineapples?
What the fuck? No.
Okay.
I haven't been on the property though.
Watch out.
They do have a dog named Lucifer though, and he's like this. He's like I know Troy can't see this right now. It's like 5 feet tall, like on his hind legs. You seen him?
Yeah. When I was waiting for you.
Oh
to get home.
They were going on a walk.
Yeah.
Dude, they're like Peruvian.
Yeah, that's a big fucking dog.
It's a giant dog.
Yeah.
I'm taking my belt off and unbuckling my
I'm about
pants.
to say, we're getting fucking real here. I saw you lean back and go for that belt.
It's like Thanksgiving
Jesus.
post dinner. Hey man, we went to Chick-fil-A, and that's a part of my hot take. I got a Chick-fil-A hot take coming up later, so don't let me forget that.
All right. So let's move on to the news desk. I do have stories. I don't know how well it's going to go because I pulled these like 2 weeks ago. I didn't read them, so I'm going to reread them with you for the first time.
All right.
Hit it.
Love the confidence.
Yep. All right. First story. Police say people pretending to play violin for money, a nationwide issue. So have you seen this like Target, like that area over there by Chick-fil-A where like the Target and the Lowe's? You ever seen the guy out there playing violin?
And he's faking it?
I've always said that he's fucking faking it.
You called it?
Yes.
And Lauren's like giving him money. Like, don't give that piece of shit money.
Yeah, so you can't see it, but there's a guy and he's got a violin hooked up to a little amp and it says, "Dad with 3 kids, please need help for food and rent." And he's got like his handle right here. I guess it may be for like a Cash App handle maybe.
Yeah, I'm homeless, but here's my Cash App on my smartphone.
So this is a story out of Michigan. Police across the country have been warning the public about people pretending to play violins to solicit donations, a trend that appears to have reached West Michigan as well. After getting a tip from a concerned viewer, News Channel 3 found a man appearing to play violin outside the Target store on South West Nedge Avenue in Portage on Monday afternoon. As he stood next to a sign that read, "Dad with 3 kids, please help for food and rent." When News Channel 3 approached him and asked him about his performance, a woman sitting beside him said they don't speak English. As the man was holding his violin down with the bow away from the strings, violin music began playing from a speaker. See, and I always see these people pedaling. Like, you'll see them at the corner by the racetrack.
Yeah.
You'll see them down by the Target.
If they have a dog, I'm more than likely to give you at least a little something.
But it's like, and I'm going to tread on some iffy water.
No, don't tread, dude. Cannonball.
So you have all and they usually got kids with them, and it's hot. I'm like, if you have the time to sit out here, if you just do a 360 panorama around you, there are at least 5 places that are hiring.
That's what I always tell Claire. I was like, there's literally everyone hiring. Like,
why can't you work?
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
And these people and I saw another story on this. Some of these people make better money than me and you.
Some people make that and then jump into like their, infinity car.
I'm glad you
like
said that.
Like a nice car and drive off.
Because I went down a rabbit hole on this.
Yeah.
Somebody actually followed them, and this wasn't in Dallas or anything, but they followed them to an affluent neighborhood.
What?
They lived in like a $1 million home. They were driving like a Lexus, like the little SUV.
That's got to be something like psychic. What is the word? Like something in your head to make you think like it's almost like a kleptomaniac. Like you don't have to steal. Like you got money to buy this, but you have the urge to do it. Like
do it.
It's like pulling a con on. It's a grift. It's a very specific and weird grift. Like not only am I gonna pretend like I need money, I'm gonna pretend to play the violin. Like if you don't play, what do you have to go pawn shop to buy one? You know what I mean? You got to buy all this equipment just to pull off the grift. That's so weird.
Like, and we are true crime fans, and so we see this a lot. If they spent the same amount of time and energy putting that into like a business venture or just trying to make money a legit way, they could do it. They almost put more effort into being a con artist or being a criminal.
I think some people just like that lifestyle too. They don't want that 9 to 5. Like some people are like hustlers, like I can make $100 on the street or I can make $100 in the office. I'd rather
go be a fucking skydiving instructor. I don't know.
Hey, I got a buddy, shout out Cody, who does that like in Corpus Christi. Went to high school with him. That's pretty fucking cool.
He's not stuck in a cubicle and he's making money a legit way.
He's a maniac though, I'll tell you that. There's no way I'm getting in a plane and there's no fucking way I'm jumping out of that plane.
Go be a fucking firefighter.
I love you, Cody. I'm the last person. Yeah, I'd rather run into a burning building than jump out of a plane.
I don't want to jump. I'll get on one and take one somewhere, but I'm not jumping out. I'm with you.
That motherfucker jumps out of planes every day. No, he's crazy.
His luck will run out. Sorry, Cody.
Damn, I didn't say that.
I'd say
on his 79th birthday.
Yeah.
Or however long he wants to live.
Hopefully you'll go out that way, You
think about it, dude. I think I'm about midlife. You think you're going to see 70?
I'm not going to see 80.
Fuck no. There's no way I'm seeing 80.
They say with modern medicine, no.
But dude, if I see 70, I'm checking out like in 2 years. That movie Midsummer, it's like after 72, you're no longer productive to society at all. You're like a burden to society.
Helped our president. In the last one.
Yeah, well, they are. They should be like if there's an age limit to be 35, it should be like the cutoff is like 70. I think the ideal age for president is like 40 to 50 because you've had enough life experiences. 40 to 60, but you're starting to have that downhill. Okay, like 60 to 65 tops, right?
I think like
there's no one's ever going to be 35 and be president, but I think the great age is 50 to 60.
Yeah,
there's a lot of smart people who have enough life experience. But they're not losing that cognitive edge and on the decline.
I'll say one more thing, and then we can get off of it if we want. Nowhere on Earth, no company on Earth, where would you hire a 78, 77-year-old man
to the most important job
position in the company?
No,
never.
No.
So why are they allowed to run our country? Because there's no way their views, their values,
or how they. Like they don't have the same like retrospective life that we do. Like now I think millennials make up the vast majority of the population now.
How can they relate to me and you?
They can't. That's what I'm saying. They're from not only another generation, they're from like 3 generations before us.
They need to bow out. They need to bow out.
just die.
Yeah.
Sorry, mom and dad. I know you're baby boomers.
But
They're cool.
I will say, my dad made it to 70, or he will make 53. Next year he'll be 70.
Mm-hmm.
If he can make it to 70, I can make it to 70 because my dad ran a lot harder than I did.
Yeah.
He
I don't know. I hope it doesn't skip a generation because my dad's dad died at like mid-40s. Like my dad was like 11 when his dad died.
Jeez.
But then my dad's going to be 65 this year, and my dad lived through the 70s. Like my dad fucking went wild.
Yeah. So there's that. But anyway, back to the story.
We
were right in the middle of the story.
Forgot we're talking about violin grifters.
Well, this is what happens when we don't record for a month.
Well, we don't hang out for a while. We just talk about
police and officials across the country have been warning the public about similar performers. The supervisor of Springfield Township in Oakland County, Michigan. Shout out Oakland County, Michigan. Did you ever hear the story about the Oakland County child murders in Michigan?
Is that the ones that are connected to that had that farm from the, or not farm, but their island from the GMC?
Mm-mm.
No.
These kids were all killed within, I don't know, like a 4 or 5 month period. Like one of them was found in like a snowbank, but he's like, all their bellies were full. When they did the autopsy, they were all clean and like dressed.
That's even creepier. Like they really took care of them like a doll.
Yeah. Like
when was this?
70s, of course. Golden era.
Dude, such a golden era.
But yeah, so Oakland County, Michigan, that made me think of it. It's called the Oakland County Child Murders. There's plenty of podcasts.
Come on, you can get more creative than that. Call them the full belly kids or something.
The full belly kids.
The nutritional murderer or something.
The compassionate child killer.
Yeah, for real. Like, give them a name.
Made a Facebook post on Monday urging residents to be careful with their money. Quote, "This is a nationwide problem, and we're addressing it at our Davisburg Kroger," said Springfield Township Supervisor Laura Moreau in her post. "These are not your neighbors in need. We've seen license plates from Texas, Virginia, and Illinois. They are not real musicians. The violin music is recorded. Please call Sheriff's Dispatch if you see the scam, and do not reward them with a donation."
Nope.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen this right in our little town. I've seen this same thing.
Have you seen that video? She was like worked for the police department, and she was their sign language interpreter, and she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. She just made up hand gestures all the time. They had her on live TV, like interpreting like a press conference, and she's just a mile a minute doing these hand signals. And they said deaf people were like, "What the fuck is she doing?" Like she's not making any sense.
She just said the cheese is moldy.
Yeah, it's like she just said like something that's totally incomprehensible. And eventually she got fired. I was like, wow, how great are you at bullshitting that you made it that far?
I think I saw a meme about that, and it's like, I think it was in like just the jobs subreddit on Reddit, and it was like when you lie on the resume, and it had a picture of her like signing, and then it had the story.
Yeah, she did a great job in the interview process because she made it that far. She got on national, maybe not national, but she got on like local television.
All right, so that's
what a legend.
That's that story. I love this one. We go to Florida for this one, so you know it's going to be good. Headline reads, "Florida man uses finger guns to steal Waffle House napkins, deputies say."
That's such a Florida headline.
And when you see this guy, he's got like these stupid fucking sideburns. He's in a yellow SpongeBob t-shirt. Looks like a complete fucking moron.
He looks like the governor of Florida. The next governor.
A Madison County Waffle House employee called 911 Monday night to report an attempted robbery. The suspect was unarmed and simply left after grabbing some napkins, according to the Madison County Sheriff's Department. Hey, buddy, you can just go and ask.
Yeah, I was
right?
going to say, is that really theft if it's free? Like, he didn't have a weapon, and he technically didn't take anything that didn't cost money.
MCSO identified Edward William Rodriguez as the assailant based on video footage and witness description. Rodriguez entered the Waffle House on 145 Southeast Bandit Street. Wow.
Oh, that's
about
perfect.
8 p.m., witnesses said. Witnesses described him as a white man wearing a gray hoodie, dark jeans, a dark hat with dark hair. He was reportedly accompanied by a small dog. Oh, man, you got your dog involved. Rodriguez then began shouting, "Get on the ground, you are getting robbed," according to MCSO's report. I could just see him in there with like his hands in his coat pocket.
He goes, "I got 2 guns right here." He pulls up both hands.
He then stated that he was high and drunk before grabbing some napkins and walking out.
Yeah, no shit, you're high and drunk.
Rodriguez got into a vehicle and left the parking lot. The 911 caller told deputies, quote, "The suspect did not appear to have a weapon, but did raise his hands with his fingers in the shape of a gun."
Imagine being that dispatch, like, "Yeah, we just got robbed. Okay, is he armed?" Well, he aggressively pointed his fingers at me, and he told me he was high on drugs and drunk.
Oh, my God. All
It's
right.
like, God damn it. I hate Florida. Okay, we'll send somebody.
So thank you, Florida, for that.
Yeah, thanks for your constant, I can't think of words today, contribution, Florida.
Oh, God. Okay. Here we go. If I can get this to work. Here we go. All right. So, speaking of Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah. That place is pretty good.
I'm going to have to tear them apart for this one. This is from Vice.
It's good.
Headline reads, Chick-fil-A is asking volunteers to work for 5 chicken sandwiches per hour. North Carolina Chick-fil-A is so hard up for people to work the lunch rush that it's asking for volunteers from the community.
Dude, wait, they're not hurting for money, though. I guess I got to hear this story.
They're hurting for workers.
Yeah, but can you pay me in cash and chicken sandwiches, or is it just chicken sandwiches?
Let's see what it says.
Okay, yeah. Let me read it up.
A Chick-fil-A in North Carolina posted a job opportunity on Facebook that offered to pay quote-unquote volunteers in chicken, not money. The store in Hendersonville is celebrating the opening of its new drive-thru express like this. Quote, we are looking for volunteers for our new drive-thru express. The Facebook post, which was just deleted after getting widely dragged, read, earn 5 free entrees per shift, 1 hour shift worked. Message us for details. The post racked up 265 comments before being deleted. Many of the commenters pointed out that Chick-fil-A is a massively popular fast food chain whose owners are worth roughly $14 billion, and thus should not be asking people to illegally work for free. Like many fast food operations, some Chick-fil-A stores are franchises that are quasi-independently operated. The Hendersonville location is a franchise, according to local reporting. Chick-fil-A corporate did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Reached by phone, Ryan, a manager at the Hendersonville location who did not provide his last name, defended the idea. Quote, what happens with some brands in a community is that they establish a relationship with the community. As a result, there's an expression of desire from the community to be more a part of what the brand is doing, Ryan said. We get people all the time that want to be a part of what we're doing. This is designed to be an opportunity for that. Ryan said he was not in control of the Facebook account and declined to comment on the post. Quote, thanks for everyone's concern on this matter. The store said in a response to a post that it should not be offering volunteer positions. This is a volunteer-based opportunity, which means people can opt in to volunteer if they think it's a good fit for them. We've had multiple people sign up and enjoy doing and have done it multiple times. People who sign up for this chose it voluntarily. We are still hiring full-time and part-time team members. So if you're interested in working in our store, we pay $19 an hour. Holy shit.
Damn.
Good for them.
No, I was going to say, if I could come and work 1 hour, and you said 5 entrees, right? That's everything.
Well,
so I can tell you, that's almost like a $10 value per entree.
Yeah.
That's like bartering for $50 an hour. If I can come and work 1 hour and just do that iPad and make some menus, and then I walk out with all them spicy chicken sandwiches and mac and cheeses.
Next time I'm going to pay my rent, I'm just going to walk in with my arms full of chicken sandwiches and be like, this is all I earned today.
I worked all month.
Can I pay my rent?
Hey,
and chicken
I'm
sandwiches?
all for the barter system. Me and Claire do that all the time.
Let's see. Man, then it just goes on to say, Chick-fil-A's are popular. The lines get so long that traffic spills into roadways and cause traffic jams, and that's why locations like this one are started building these drive-through express lanes.
I just thought of the comment I would leave. Be like, yeah, I'll be there on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm starting on Sunday. Boys.
Yeah. I'm going to show up on Sunday. Y'all be there.
Okay, so that was the news. Shame on you, Chick-fil-A. Nobody can pay rent with chicken sandwiches.
Chicken sandwiches? No.
Although they're delicious.
They
The
are
Lord's
delicious.
chicken is good.
Probably the best chicken sandwich in town.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But I've never had the Popeyes. The one that someone got murdered over. I never went there.
Yeah, I had it. It was pretty good. Not Chick-fil-A level,
No.
in my opinion. Too much breading, not
Yeah.
enough chicken. At least with Chick-fil-A, you're getting a majority, like chicken. There's not just breading pieces on there.
Yeah, I don't want a breaded sandwich.
All right, where are we going now?
Fuck if I know. We didn't do a run sheet.
No,
we can do. I got
Fucking free.
a hill to die on.
All right,
I got
let's-
my hear me out, and I got some questions.
Okay, let's do hill to die on because I want to hear your hill.
Okay, this one I should start. I have no solution to this issue. I should say firsthand. So this is a hot take, right?
Yeah.
That's the point. It's supposed to be unpopular.
Yeah, this is
Defendants under the age of 16 should not be tried as an adults or be eligible for the death penalty. Under the age of 16, no matter the case. And like I said, I have no solution to this problem. But I don't think a 14-year-old should be tried as an adult, even if it was like a murder case. The brain still develop. I don't think they can comprehend. Like they can comprehend right from wrong, but I don't think they understand. Like if Because I spent a night in the clink, right? I spent some time.
Yeah,
That's no joke.
You're hard.
And bro, I ain't going back. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they comprehend, like, I'll never get to do these things. Like, I remember being like, I just want to go to work. Like, just let me I'll go to work 7 days a week. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, let me out. And that was like 24 hours. And I was like, yep, I'm done. Of course, I went back to doing what I did. I got arrested for. But, you know, it's like, I don't think they comprehend, like, no, for the next, like, 60 years until you die, and then you're going to get buried in this field. So, I don't know. When you see someone, it's like, yeah, they were 15 when this crime committed, and then they were tried as an adult, which it's like, nothing else you can get there where you get eligible to be considered an adult unless you commit a crime. I was like, if you can't even buy beer and you can serve in the military, that's fucked up. But I don't think you should be tried as an adult just because you did something terrible. And like I said, I don't have a solution. That's why it's unpopular. And it's I didn't really think this one through, but I had to come up with something, and I heard a podcast, and this guy was tried as an adult, and then they went into this explanation that, like, you know, your brain's still developing at this age, and with all the hormones, they're like, technically, like, you are considered, like, mildly crazy because of, like, your hormones are popping so much and everything that's going on in your brain. They're like, it's just not a normal brain. Like, if you did a scan, it wouldn't be normal from, like, a 25, 35, 45-year-old. You're just on a different
I agree.
wavelength.
I think I would agree with you if our system was designed and committed to rehabilitation.
Oh, if it wasn't for profit?
But I don't think it is. And I
not.
know it's not. So
that's another thing. I told Claire, and she got mad at me because I was like, okay, aren't jails bullshit? Not prisons, jail. Because if I commit a crime, right, and I get arrested for it, I'm innocent till I'm proven guilty. Why am I sitting in this pen as if I'm a guilty person? I should be at home, because until the judicial system finds me guilty in a court of law, I am presumed innocent. You know what I mean? And I got in this whole argument with her, and I was like, I'm not going to lose this argument, because I said maybe they have to change the judicial system, and they could do that, and then they could, you know, keep you in jail. But I was like, jails are bullshit. If I'm innocent till proven guilty, I shouldn't spend a minute in jail because I have the presumption of innocence on me. So yeah, I get in debates with it, and Claire's like, I don't care. Like, you're arguing with yourself, and I'm like, I'm heated right now. Like, let me just talk about it. And then, you know, we don't have sex. I ruin everything. So I kind of like, damn it, I died on that hill, but I go to sleep like with big swollen balls. But at least I'm right.
I want to agree with you, but the other side of me doesn't, because like if a 15-year-old kid slaughters his entire family, that's a big boy decision. Like,
yeah, but
you should face some big boy consequences. And I don't think 6 years until he's 21 or 3 years until he's 18.
No. That's what I said. I don't think they should get out once they become a certain age. There just needs to be a different process for how this goes. It's like, okay, maybe you do serve that time, and then you get, because you're not going to get set free, but maybe now there's like a review board or something, and there's like a minimum of 20 years after that. You get X amount of time to turn 21, and then on these terrible cases, then you have a minimum of 20 years, but you shouldn't get fucking death penalty. There shouldn't be 16, 17-year-olds that get sentenced to death. The guy, who's the main guy? Damien Eccles from West Memphis 3. He got the death penalty at like 17. And it's like, he was obviously innocent, but you know, it's like, if he can't even buy a pack of cigarettes yet, but the state of Arkansas is going to put him to death, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I'm not trying, that was my whole point with Claire, is like, I'm not saying they should be set free. I was just saying, like, I don't think a 14, 15-year-old should be tried as an adult and be sent to adult prison, because you know they're just going to get fucked in the butt. They're going to get passed around. I was like, I don't know, it's just... And it's a weird hill to die on, you know. I like getting worked up and getting into arguments with people that I have a sliver of winning, and then I just die on that hill. Like, I'm not going to be convinced otherwise.
Hey, that's your hill to die on.
I have so many hills to die on. That was the one I chose just because I heard that podcast. And my second one, because I went there today, the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese is the best thing on their menu.
As far as out to eat mac and cheese, it's up there.
What do you mean out to eat?
Like fast food or like...
My mom was, when I said that, my mom goes, it's better than my mac and cheese? And I looked at her and said, hell yes, this is better than yours. I was like, have you tried this yet? And she's like, it's better than your sister's. And I was like, we can do this all day. Like, this is the best mac and cheese.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best mac and cheese out there, because if you have a good homemade
If I was from like Minnesota, right, the Midwest, and I'm sure some lady out there makes the best.
No,
but accessible...
the South.
You think the South?
Yeah, if I want a good casserole, I'm going to the Midwest.
I'm going like somewhere where like obesity rates like at an all-time high.
Yeah,
but I was like, but that's not. My mom is like, hey, let me boil these noodles and let me drain this cheese packet and mix it together.
No. Lauren makes homemade.
That's what my sister does too. That's why she asked, like, is it better than
noodles, breadcrumbs?
Oh, we don't do breadcrumbs. Okay, so maybe Lauren
in the oven. Yeah, oh yeah.
Maybe I need to go on a date with your wife then.
fucking, you can have her.
Okay.
She told me to like fucking leave whenever.
Oh shit.
It was in a joking manner, I think.
Yeah.
But
She told me she fucking hates me, but
yeah,
she was joking.
I think she was joking
I think
before we left.
I think
So
there's a locksmith that pulls up as
Yeah.
soon as you leave.
let's say we'll see if my key works when I get home. But yeah, no, they're as far as like any fast food or even restaurant. Yeah, Chick-fil-A
Oh
is
yeah,
way
that's
up
what I'm saying. But I've never had the way you're talking about. So the best I've had is the best. And I was gonna say this. Spoiler alert: I'm gonna get Claire to make banana pudding for the draft. You should get Lauren to make some mac and cheese, and we'll be like fucking kings up there.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Dude,
she is. I was like, I give her options. I was like, because I usually get something for all the guys. I'm not doing that shit. None of those cocksuckers appreciate all the effort I put into it. I make like fucking gift bags for these guys, and then they fucking just like half of them leave it there. Nobody says thank you. I was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm tired of being the nice guy. But I told Claire, I was like, you know what's really? She makes fantastic banana banana pudding.
Yeah.
So I was like, can you make that? Like, and she's like, yeah, I'll make one for you. I'll big pan. I'll make one for me, so I can. I was like, yeah, it's a win-win. So anybody who's listening that's in our league, Troy,
You're a
Troy's
cocksucker.
listening. Troy, just eat shit.
Actually,
and eat banana pudding.
yeah.
Hope your team sucks.
We can't. I do hope his team sucks, but we can't lump him in with the other guys because this is his first live draft. So we don't know how he would react to a gift. He might appreciate it.
You know what? I love you, Troy. He'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ryan, eat shit.
Okay. Where do you want to go now? You want to do?
I have some questions I was going to ask you.
Oh yeah. I love this part.
And then hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Big Brother
Yeah.
needs to raise the America's Favorite House Guest to $50,000,
Mm-hmm.
and then they need to add a $25,000 prize to the best villain / America's least favorite house guest. Just because every year, like,
Yeah, that's
I would
fine.
vote for like Daniel this year. And it's
Mhm.
like, I kind of want people to be assholes because it makes for better television. Like, I don't want you to be on there and be like straight up racist. There's some people that are like,
Yeah.
oh, that was really fucked up. But if you can like manipulate people and just like get under people's skin, but in a game way, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate when someone, and they never win. You know, I think, did Evil Dick win?
Yeah.
So Evil Dick's like the only one to ever do it. Oh, and Jackson Mickey, that guy
Yeah.
that looked like a me character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, he did. He had a
Yeah.
fantastic jawline. So
Yeah.
much so he looked like a me
His
character.
head was almost literally square.
Yeah, great jawline. But
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he looked. That first thing I saw, that's what I thought of. But
Yeah.
they need like a best villain, or I thought it'd be best if it was least favorite house guest. They always like, oh well, people hate me, but hey, I got 25,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because they're making they make a lot of money off that show. There's no like they don't have to pay a cast really. I don't know. Do cast members get
Yeah,
paid?
they get paid like
They get
X amount of dollars per
compensated
day.
for probably work?
Yeah.
So what me and Claire were talking about. I was like, I'm surely they cover at least your.
I've seen that on Reddit. Like it's like something like it's like basically like a per diem. So it's like $60 a day or $120 a day. But then they have the upkeep of the house, all the groceries, set builders.
Set probably really expensive.
Yeah.
They've done a great job this year on the
Yeah.
set. I don't want to get too much in Big Brother because we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll
but
talk about it.
you want my pick ones? This is just I'm gonna give you two options. You got to pick one.
Okay.
This all started with this one question,
Okay.
and then I just brainstormed like for 10 minutes, and I came with. So the first one I came up with, this is a combo: pancakes and sausage, or waffles and bacon.
Pancakes and sausage.
Exactly. Me too. I'm such a fat kid. We were eating waffles and bacon one day, and I was like, I'd rather be eating pancakes and sausage right
Pancakes
now.
and sausage.
Okay. Chips or cereal? The other one's got to go forever. You can never have it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like it gots to go, but I'm sure that's
Oh.
trademark, so we can't say that.
Cereal.
See, I went chips. Sandwiches or burgers?
Oh, that means I couldn't have Jersey Mike's anymore.
Nope. And sandwiches is obviously like tuna, grilled cheese, peanut butter and jelly, deli sandwiches, chopped beef sandwiches.
Could I put a hamburger patty on 2 pieces of bread?
No, that you just said the word hamburger.
Could I put ground beef
No,
patty?
no, that's another word for a hamburger.
So is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, it's not a fucking sandwich. It's a hot dog. Claire had this. She goes, well, technically a hamburger's a sandwich. I was
Yeah.
like, look, you literal bitch. I know it's bread, meat, bread. I was like, well, then a taco is because you fold up a taco and it's a little bit of bread, meat. And I was like, no, it's too simple of a definition. You know, a sandwich is a sandwich. A hamburger's a hamburger. And a hot dog's a goddamn hot dog.
Give me sandwiches because
I
I
went
can't,
sandwiches as
can't
well.
give up Jersey Mike's.
That's what I said. I was like, there's too many good options. Because a burger, as much as I love burger, is just, there's not many ways to dress up a burger. Sandwiches, I can make.
So what about a cheesesteak? It is
Now that's a good one.
It is still
I
beef.
might make that the exception to a burger. I might throw that into the burger category. Because it is like ground beef almost, right?
No.
Or, well, not ground beef, but it's like
shaved.
okay, but you know what I mean? Like that. If we do that, then I think we got to throw in the chopped beef sandwich to a burger too. That kind of changes the game.
To me, burgers and cheesesteaks, and even like a chopped beef or like pastrami or roast beef, that's on one side and burgers are on the other.
So burgers all by itself.
I think so.
Okay, so we're going with sandwiches. All right, pizza or tacos?
Fuck.
If you can't tell, I'm such a fat kid. Most of these are all food.
Dude.
Yeah.
Pizza.
I pick pizza as well. Salsa or ranch? Because they're both considered condiments.
I can't have chips based on my answers, so I'm going ranch.
Okay. See, I went chips and salsa. One separate. Okay, this one's specific. You got to hear the wordage. Ice cream cone, snow cone.
Ice cream cone.
Okay. See, I went snow cone. Because you can still have ice cream in a cup. You just can't have it in a cone.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to listen to the words.
Yeah, that one's an ice cream cone or a snow cone. So you can still eat it out of a bowl, out of a pint, like a fat kid like I am.
Okay,
just eat it straight out.
Cones.
Yeah, so you keep the snow cones. Snow cones are so good.
Yeah, they're
so underrated. So underrated. This one's for you. This one you can either watch MLS and college football, so you can get them both, or NFL.
You're evil. You're evil dick. You're an evil dick.
That's a compliment. That's a big brother compliment. I hope that's what you're saying.
With the NFL, do I still get to watch a World Cup?
No. No, actually, MLS is soccer. It's just soccer. I should have said
so soccer, college football, or
soccer
NFL.
And college football combo. Any soccer, or just straight NFL.
You know what? If the Cowboys had won anything in the last 30 years, I'd say NFL. But give me soccer and college football.
Okay, that's fair. I would have said if it were for me, if it was NBA and college football, that would have been the way I worded it for me. I probably would have picked because it's like a 2-for-1. It's 2 sports and you can still watch all the college football. Okay, last one. Video games or music? Dude. You can still listen to podcasts. Oh, fuck, I broke my pen.
So if I go video games, I can still listen to podcasts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me video games and podcasts.
You'll never hear another song in your life.
Yeah, but that's literally what I do. Like, I'll put on a podcast and play video games.
That's fair. So that's a good answer for you then. All right, man. That's it. That was just me thinking about pancakes and sausage, and I started thinking about all these other things
really
to compare.
Evil scenarios, dude.
Oh,
really, hit me, like...
It really made you think.
Yeah, that's the most I thought. And
it's like a personality test. Like, I'm like a psychiatrist. I'm really getting to know you.
Damn. Okay. Well, that was good.
All right, cool.
You want it? I don't even feel like we need to do...
Oh, I got one more.
All right.
This is so stupid. Okay.
Right when I thought I was done.
No, okay. So you're in a public restroom, right?
Okay.
Which already sucks.
Yeah.
You either have to poop with the light on or the door's unlocked, or you can lock the door, but you got to poop in the dark.
Oh, give me the light. I don't give a shit if people walk in.
You're letting somebody walk? Oh, my God. I've walked in on like 2 people at work.
So
because there's like a shared bathroom.
So the main door is unlocked or my stall door is unlocked?
Oh, the way I was thinking it is like, where it's just like one door you open. There's one toilet in there.
Oh, one toilet?
Yeah, because that's the one we have at work. It's like a handicap, but there's nobody handicapped. So it's like the king's bathroom everyone goes to. I'm like, how you not, all you do is lock the door. I've walked in on like 2 people. And I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to see this. They start yelling at me like I did something wrong. It's like, all you have to do is push a little button on the handle. So either lock the door and poop in the dark.
It's on them. I mean, they're going to have to smell and see it.
I'm always nervous that the worst part is like right when I'm wiping.
You're in the most awkward, vulnerable
Yeah,
position.
no. You know what? I'm gonna be personal right now. I stand up when I wipe.
Sometimes it's easier.
Sometimes we talk. I swear you're going to drag your knuckles across toilet bowl water by going under. Like, I'm not risking like my hand being inches away from shit. No, that's dirty. And I lay toilet paper down on
I know
every
you
seat.
do. I know you
Even
do.
when I'm at home. That's fucking gross, man. I'm keep these cheeks fresh.
You need to go see a doctor about that. You need
About
to
how
go see
fresh and
somebody.
clean I am?
No. Yeah, that's just unreal to me that you put toilet paper down on your home bathroom.
Dude, I pee all over that thing. I'm disgusting.
What are you, 6?
No, but you ever been taking a piss and you think you're done and your dick goes,
child, please.
And it's not? And then you just keep drizzling everywhere?
Yeah, you just hold the bowl. You just hold it over the bowl.
No, dude, if I'm like just woke up in the morning and I'm like, that's another thing, this is gross, but you're like half hard or fully hard and you're having to like arch your back to make it into the bowl.
Yeah, I have to like put my arm on the wall.
It's
and
not
then,
easy. And then it's like, all right, let me done. And you think you start shaking a little bit. And nope, here comes a whole nother stream. That shit goes everywhere.
But the lid should already be up.
It is up, but I'm like a helicopter.
Apparently, Jesus.
Just let me pee outside.
Claire's
I peed
a happy
outside
woman.
today because the guys were here. They're fixing the toilet, and I was like, I hope nobody's looking. I just stepped 1 foot outside, and I was just like solid stream immediately, just watching all my neighbors.
I don't know how Claire feel about this, but that'll be the easiest way for you to teach Owen. That's how I taught Landry.
Peeing outside?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? You know how many times my dad taught me to pee outside?
Oh, yeah. That's how I learned.
I mean, crossing streams, jousting, everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's just growing up.
Yeah. That's how I taught Landry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where are we going now? You want to go Mount Rushmore?
Yeah. You going to talk Big Brother or just go straight into it? Let's do a catch-up.
Let's let Mount Rushmore lead into Big Brother talk.
Okay.
All right.
There's a lot of Big Brother this week.
Yeah. I want to alternate. So you go first.
Okay.
So we're doing, let me
set it up.
Be a host real quick. So this week's Mount Rushmore with Big Brother in full swing. We're ranking our season's favorite or best seasons of Big Brother. So it could be the best, what you think is the best, or just one you really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You said you're starting?
I'll start.
Okay.
No particular order, and this is probably on yours. Season 10. Yeah. That was Dan Giesling, the master, in my opinion, the best player ever to play.
He is.
So, and it was a really good cast. There were people like, remember Brian, the first dude who got evicted that season?
He really thought he was going to be
He's like, I'm going to play everybody.
master.
I've got and that kind of set that trend of like anybody who talks like that usually is going home pretty early.
And that changed it for Dan because that was his guy.
Yeah.
That was going to be his ride or die, and he had to pivot immediately.
Yeah.
Dan's probably the greatest.
Yeah, but it was just a great season. People like Keisha, Jesse, Old Man Jerry, Rennie, Memphis was there. Memphis got second.
Yep.
And if anybody remembers that season, that was like Keisha's birthday where they had like
That
a
was
cake
amazing.
and they were like fighting like an all-out drag-out fight. Jesse had started some shit with like Libra and April was involved and
They had the most pathetic happy
awkward
birthday song.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Libra goes, all right, anybody want some cake?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yep. So that was one of probably the best and one of my favorites.
I'll piggyback off of that because what I read about it, it said that this was called the Back to the Basics season because there was no game-changing twist or pre-existing relationships because they always try to throw something in there to spice things up. And then on this one, it was just like straight, like we're just going to play Big Brother. So I like that. And like you said, Dan's probably the greatest of all time. So I also had that on my list. So I'll go to my next one. I'll go to season 14, 2012. That was the return of Dan. So that's where we had Dan's funeral, which is anyone who watches Big Brother knows that's probably the greatest moment in Big Brother history. He backed himself into such a corner. Yep. His game was over, and he had a punishment where he had to go self-isolate for like 24 hours. And instead of just using that time to sulk or whatever, just be like, well, I had a good run. He came up with this brilliant idea to just declare his game dead, to gain all this sympathy. And I mean, people were like crying for this guy. Like he called a house meeting, set everybody down, basically told him how much he loved everyone, how, this is the end of the road for him, that he appreciates everything. I mean, people were crying, and that propelled him to Final Two, where he lost to Ian. And Ian was a great player. Turns out he came out on All Stars like 2 years ago and said he was on the spectrum.
Yep.
So he was, and then turns out, he was outlasted one of the greatest. He outlasted the GOAT, Dan. So imagine being the only person to ever beat Dan.
Well, and that season was cool because that was the coaching season.
Yeah, I put on there Brittany and Janelle were back and Mike Boogie.
And Boogie was there and
because Ian made the decision of cutting Boogie. That was his mentor or whatever, his coach.
And he looked up to Ian was one of these guys who'd spent his whole life watching it.
Yeah, you can tell Ian was a student of the game.
Yeah, and he made the decision to cut his hero. Basically.
That was a $500,000 decision was to cut Boogie out, and then Boogie was like, "I'm so proud of him. Like that was the best Big Brother move he could have done by just because he's like, if he hadn't done that, like I would have beaten him. I would have thrown him under the bus and I would have won.
Yeah.
So for Ian to make that decision, it was like that was the best decision he could have made.
Yep. And one of the better alliances too, the Quack Pack.
The Quack Pack.
Yeah,
we should do a Mount Rushmore of alliance names.
Yeah,
because they always try to get creative.
Some of them are dumb as shit.
This year we got the I like the name the leftovers because they're the ones who were
literally left.
Yeah, so everyone kind of picked a group and they were the ones left.
All right. I like 14 as well. 14 was one of my favorites.
Is it on your list?
No.
Okay, good.
No, not on my list.
Good. Ah, shit. I marked out no, that's good. Yeah.
I'm going to leave out one of the more obvious ones.
16.
16.
Yeah.
That's just.
Well, let's just talk about it because did we both have it, or you left it out completely?
I left it out, but
okay, I'll talk about it next then.
I left it out knowing it would be on your list probably, but so we can talk about it here in a minute.
Okay.
I'm trying to find my season that I want to talk about. It's ranked really low on this list, but
yeah, some of them I saw were like, man, I love that. See, it was ranked like 17th best out of 22, and I was like, yeah, that was one of my favorites. I forgot to include that one, but
why don't you go on 16 till I find mine?
all right. So yeah, like I said, season 16 that was 2004, and that had a really good cast too. That had like a really great cast of characters. So it had Donnie, who was like this groundskeeper from North Carolina,
so
the most southern sweetheart.
So
it's like
genuine.
It's like Forrest Gump's cousin.
Yeah.
And everyone thought Donnie was like CIA, some kind of special ops. They're
that
like,
was one of the dumber.
that was a widely considered conspiracy though in the house. Everyone thought there's no fucking way this guy is this wholesome, and there's no way he's a groundskeeper. They're like, no, Donnie's like a CIA black dark agent, and turns out he just looks like he's from Duck Dynasty. He had a big beard and he wore camo all the time, and he's literally a groundskeeper.
Yep.
It had Zach, who does the Honda Gang thing we make up now.
Yep.
Who ended up fucking Frankie
Grande,
who was Ariana Grande's brother. Like, he made that big admission and no one knew who the fuck he was talking about.
That one was, we'll talk about it.
It was like crickets. They did the cricket sound when he said that. I love
that one was about as like jaw dropping as like when, oh shit, she just got eliminated a couple weeks ago.
Amira?
No, the cop, Nicole. When Nicole's like, I'm a cop.
Everyone goes, oh, okay.
Cool.
You thought like our heads were going to explode?
Cool. If you weren't a target already, you are now, you idiot.
Yep. And I also had Cody Calafiore, who got second place that year to the man who's on our at least mine, I think our Mount Rushmore, Derek Levasseur. He's the one who won, and guy wasn't nominated once. They did something where didn't they nominate 3 people, or they had like, or was it 3 or 4? I think it was just 3. Like 3 nominees each week. Guy never saw the block. I mean, he literally run. It was considered like a low ranking, the list I read, because it was the Bomb Squad. That was the name of the big alliance that year. The Bomb Squad just ran the house. And usually when alliances come together and just run the house, it's considered a boring season unless you love the people who were in it. And that season also had the Team America twist, where I think it was Donnie, Derek, and Frankie were the members of Team America, and they would get like
challenges.
It would be like hug Matt for 1 minute straight, and if you could do that, you'd get like $10,000. America would vote on things for you to do, like this weird stuff, and if you could pull it off, you'd get money. But if you got caught, you'd kind of be fucked, and you'd probably get voted out. So it just made it interesting.
And it spawned a phrase that is said in my house today, and that's when Zach calls Nicole a Fruit Loop dingus.
I still love that.
Landry will call you a Fruit Loop dingus when you come over.
I love it.
Or I'll shorten it to dingus. I'm like, what are you doing, you fucking dingus?
Yeah, I remember when he said that to Nicole, and she just kind of looked so confused and perplexed, and then she just started laughing, and Zach goes, okay, I guess no hard feelings then. Like, he thought that was like cutting through her like hot knife to butter, and she just looked at him and started cracking up.
Let's see.
You still ain't found it yet?
Yeah, I'm going to settle on one. It's unpopular, but I just like the winner because I didn't have him pegged, and that's season 15 when Andy won.
Andy was very unlikely.
Andy,
Ian, and Steven from like 17 were very unlikely. Just because they look, I don't know, hate to sound mean, but they're like nerdy guys with glasses.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Coming from 2 guys with glasses.
Coming from 2 nerds with glasses, yeah. I would never win at Big Brother.
But yeah, there was a couple good, like, I know Andy had a good blindside that season.
Everyone thought Andy was so nice, and then when shit hit the fan, he was cutthroat.
Ruthless,
that's what you got to do. You got to be nice until you have to be mean.
Otherwise, it was a pretty unremarkable.
Does it show who got like runner? I got to remember who's all in that cast. Like who'd he beat?
I'm not sure, but that was the one where it had that dude McCrae, and he was
Amanda.
Amanda, yeah, that was kind of.
That was like an Amazon woman, like just throwing him on her shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know who. Let me see if I can look it up. But yeah, I just like that one because it was an unlikely winner.
Oh yeah, if there was a betting to start, he would have been like 500 to 1.
Oh yeah,
somebody won big in Vegas on that one.
Yeah.
So does that mean you like the season where Josh won over Paul?
No, because
that was the worst victory. Paul got jobbed twice. He lost to fucking Josh and Nicole. Like, Nicole's actually a good player, so that wasn't a big surprise. But Josh, you lost to the guy whose biggest claim to fame was the smacking pots and getting on everyone's nerves.
And see, I didn't like that season because I didn't like Cody.
Oh, Cody's season.
The man. I didn't like him. I thought he was
Cody. It's so likable, right?
I thought he was a fucking psychopath.
He probably is. He's got bodies in the walls, but he's also got a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
She's
so
very
that was a shitty season because it was Andy and Gina Marie. It was the final two. I don't know if you remember Gina Marie, but
I'm thinking
she was
Vanessa.
She was blonde headed and she was like from New Jersey.
Oh, they were fucking floaters.
Yeah.
She's like the Veronica of season fucking. When I say 16,
16
that got married, that got taken to the final three. Yeah, she was a floater.
Yep. So you got your third one?
Yeah, mine's season 7 from 2006. It was Big Brother's All Star. So I said it was their first and their only good season of All Stars. It had Dr. Will, Mike Boogie, Janelle, and Danielle Reyes were some of the most notable people to come back. And Mike Boogie won that season, and now he's crazy and has a restraining order against him from Dr. Will.
He really does.
So he peaked in 2006.
Yeah.
But that was one of the first seasons that, like, I know I watched a few seasons before, but it was like I didn't watch every episode. That 2006, probably because that was the year I graduated and I was like out of school. That was like the summer I graduated, so I graduated like June of 2006. So I like didn't, I just remember like watching that whole season with my parents, and that was the first season that I was really, really into.
Man, that's kind of cool. You watched that with your parents.
We talked about that the whole time we were at Chick-fil-A with my mom. Though, like for the last 5 minutes we were there, I was like, all I have to say is, so what do you think about Big Brother? And my mom goes, oh my God. Like, and she'll just go into it, and then she'll be like, let's call your dad. What does he think?
Let's call your dad.
Like, I just text my parents and be like, look at this fucking idiot on Big Brother. Like, yeah, my mother, like, yeah, I hate that guy so much.
So yeah, to kind of divulge a little bit, I have Lauren totally hooked.
Excellent.
Like, I can't.
I feel like I'm like Jesus converting everyone to Big Brother.
I'm afraid that she's watching it right now without me.
Yeah, that's what I told Claire. I was like, okay, we're going to record this. I was like, do you want to watch it without me and I'll watch it afterwards, or do you want to wait? And she's like, I'll be strong and I'll wait for you tomorrow. I was like, okay, don't, because if you watch it, tell me so I can watch it.
Yeah, she's like, or can I just watch it and I just rewatch it? I'm like, no.
Because you'll know what's coming.
This is my show. I got you into it. Remember that. But she's even like talking on Facebook about it, like commenting, like making comments.
We've created a monster.
Yeah, so I'll probably get to rewatch, some old Big Brother in the off season, which is cool because like, it left me. I like how BB Canada is set up because BB Canada runs, I think, like February to like April. So you get that little. It's kind of split in half. You get this in the summer.
It's like the NFL and the USFL.
Basically,
Except BB Canada is better.
Yep.
From what I've heard.
So my third one or fourth one, I can't remember. Maybe fourth one. Season 20. That's the one with Tyler.
Tyler got jobbed. Tyler should have won.
Casey won that one.
Bullshit. Tyler made it final 2, didn't he? I need to see. I thought he managed the jury so well. Everyone loved Tyler. I have to watch like the last 2 episodes to know like what happened.
Yeah,
Tyler was so likable. Because he won didn't he win America's Favorite House guest that year? I think he did.
Let me see. He got a girl. He got a hot chick.
Oh yeah,
they're married.
That's good.
They're married now.
They're gonna have some very adorable babies.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was Tyler and Casey. I didn't like the winner at all. I didn't think Casey.
I remember. You know what? I think Casey, if I remember correctly, she went on a great run near the end. I think she started winning a lot of comps near the end, and that was her resume. Whereas Tyler played great. To me, it's not all about comps. It's how you are with people. And he had one of the best social games of all time.
He did.
And that's why I was like, when the votes started coming in, I was like, is Tyler not going to win? Like, what the fuck?
Well, it was 5-4. It was a really close, really close vote.
It should have been. It shouldn't even been close.
He was America's favorite house.
That just shows you how everyone liked him. I mean,
really what screwed him up is Casey won that final HOH. And
I bet if we could tell who the final 3 is, I bet Tyler was like, I got to cut Casey, and I bet they were thinking about taking a floater.
I want to say it was Brett. No, Brett was out.
Maybe
it was Angela. Maybe it was his chick.
Oh, well, then that was the plan, was to take Angela. And I'm surprised Casey didn't take Angela. You know what? And I had that season on there because, actually I did somewhere. It's on my honorable mention, so let me just piggyback. That was, I put Casey.
Oh, no. It was JC.
Oh, JC's a creep. Do you know what he did to Tyler? You didn't hear about that? JC should have been kicked out. They had him on video. Tyler would go to sleep, and JC would fucking play with his dick. He would play with Tyler's dick.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and they're like, why the fuck is this guy still here? He sexually assaulted that guy.
Yeah.
He would pull that guy's dick out and balls and fucking play with him. How creepy is that? I wouldn't want to be in that house if I know some guy was playing with my dick when I'm asleep.
Hold on.
And JC, for the people who don't know, was like, what do you call him? A short person?
No, he's a little person.
He's a little person that was like highly he was like an entertainer, so he's all energetic and all over the place and just like really sassy, and he's playing with guys' dicks, and they let him get to the final 3.
So JC, I can't pronounce his last name, received criticism after he was shown using an ice cream scoop on the genitals of his other house guests.
Okay, so he's playing with balls. He later
told fellow house guest Casey Clark to open up her vagina, saying that it feels good.
Dude, that's so fucking wrong. No,
Good
how the
God.
fuck did CBS let that guy stay?
Well, look who runs CBS.
Hey, Les Moonves, shout out sexual predator Les Moonves. Speaking of which, after all that happened, that's when Julie Chen changed her name to Stand By Her Man. And then when she was a host on the View, and when all that shit hit the fan, the other people on The View were going to call her out. She fucking resigned from that job so she wouldn't have to answer for all those shitty things he did. I fucking can't stand Julie Chen. Everyone goes, Julie Chen, you look so beautiful today. I was like, hey, you look like a fucking cunt who stands by her sexual predator husband. And then at the end of every episode, she'll go, be kind to each other. God bless you. I was
just
like, yeah.
Like your husband.
Just like your husband like sexually assaulted those women. Yeah, I'll be kind like that. And then he got like a $200 million severance package. It's fucking bullshit.
So JC was once again involved in 2 separate sexual misconduct incidents in which he was accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault while sleeping in the same bed. Mondu, I guess that's his last name, was seen caressing Tyler Crispin's arm, face, and chest, as well as kissing his armpit while Crispin was sleeping.
Ew, the armpit.
The following morning, Crispin stated to Casey Clark, I'm sleeping alone tonight. JC is not sleeping with me. He explained his version by stating that he was comforting Crispin, who was having nightmares. Later, he opened the toilet door while house guest Haley was using it. Brochure repeatedly asked him to close the door, who refused and tied the door open. Brochure then yelled for assistance from production and later filed a complaint with executive producer Allison Grodner. The producers later released a statement saying neither Crispin nor Brochure filed official complaints and that the two have expressed to them that they did not feel threatened by his actions.
So he did it to... What was that white girl's name again? I remember she was from A&M. Haley, Tyler, and did you say Casey?
No, he...
I thought he said something about her vagina.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah.
So we're talking at least 3 people he was being seriously creepy and, like, touching and inappropriately behavior. And they fucking kept him. Hey, he's probably an executive at CBS now. What are we talking about? He probably got the Les Moonves, like, treatment.
So the last little bit on this one. During a live eviction speech, house guest Scotty Salton made sexual and vulgar comments toward house guest
Scotty's of G.
Tyler Crispin and Angela Rummins. He hinted that Crispin received oral sex from Rummins, which got censored out by CBS.
Wait, who got hit from Tyler?
Tyler
got hit from JC?
No, from Angela.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what? Plot twist.
I'm like, yeah, you're jealous, okay?
Yeah,
so
great for Tyler. And now they're married, so it was obviously consensual, which is fine. It's when you do that shit when they're asleep that it's creepy. No, he just got a blowjob from his future wife. Okay.
Yeah, all this shit that you just talked about is right here in this.
Yeah, I didn't make that shit up, dude.
No, I knew you didn't, but
so
I didn't know that that was the timeline.
Okay,
like
so
that was the timeline of that. All
right. I'm going to go straight into honorable mention because I'm going to piggyback off of yours. That was season 20. I put Casey over Tyler's dumb. R.I.P. Steve, because our guy went out week 1. Yeah. Again, they didn't give the older guy a chance. Steve was about to just run this house. I love that guy. I just put how they had a good cast of characters like Rockstar and Swaggy C, who are douchebags, but they are good for TV. And Brett was such a good villain that year. He knew how to press everyone's buttons, and he was like a good-looking, physically strong guy. So he was like he was like that Chad, like that typical Chad frat guy. You know, it's like, yeah, he looks good. He's probably come from money. He's probably graduated from college, but it's like, man, fuck that guy though. There's just, you don't like him, but he knows you don't like him, and he's just gonna like irritate you. I don't know. He just got under everyone's skin, but that's how you play. That's the game he chose to play. So I just put it. It was a very entertaining season because of the cast.
Another one I'll bring up. season 12 was really good. The cast was really good. There was that Lane, the gay cowboy. Brittany was on there. Hayden.
Wait, Lane was gay?
Pretty sure. He was the
The
gay.
one who made it to the final 3 with the
Brigade?
Lane's gay?
Maybe I'm thinking of another one.
Lane was like a beefcake. I mean, I can
Maybe
see
in season
it.
10 there was a gay cowboy. I know there's a gay cowboy on one.
There's been several Cowboys, but yeah, there was Beast Mode Cowboy.
Yeah, not
That was season 16. I can picture another guy, but I can't think of
yeah,
his
that
name.
was like Enzo's season.
Yeah, that was Brigade. That
The
was
Brigade.
Lane.
And there was that
Hayden.
dude named Matt, and he was the one that was like lying about his wife having cancer and shit to fucking
Oh,
gain
what a piece
sympathy.
of shit. I
And-
can't believe I don't remember that.
Yeah, and then he got to jury.
They called him out.
Like he had to, like, he wanted to confess now that the game was over, and like they like shut him out of the
Bro.
jury house.
I was gonna say, there's technically no rules about that, but you don't lie about like dying family members to get sympathy. That's where I'd be like, if you lied about not having a wife or having a wife, that's one thing, but I don't know. That's fucked up, man. Like again, I don't think he broke a rule because there's no rules about what you can say and do in the Big Brother house.
And that season had Pandora's box.
Yeah, I remember. I remember it was a literal box when they opened it. It like, because you had an option to open it or not open it.
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna open it.
And it was just like Jesse came out of the box with
Oh, God
and
damn it.
sprinkles, like they're like confetti, like
Oh, I fucking
he got
can't
trapped in a
stand that
room. He
guy.
got trapped in a room with Jesse for like
Who was it? Who got
the
trapped?
Matt dude.
Is there a picture? I got to see a picture when we're done. I got to see who this guy is.
Yeah.
So there was no like added benefit other than Jesse sprinkling like glitter on you.
Yeah,
And
it
you
was
know they
pretty
played
good.
it up all year. Like, okay, here comes Pandora's box and it's Mr. Pectacular with glitter.
Yeah, Mr. Spectacular.
Ah, that guy sucks. Nobody loves
Yeah.
Jesse like Jesse loves Jesse.
No, my bad. I think that was Brittany. I think Pandora's box got opened up a couple times, and Brittany because Matt got the diamond power veto that
Okay,
year.
now that sounds something legit.
Yeah,
That sounds like something that could be useful. Well, while you're looking for
Who's
that,
this guy?
I'll give you my last one.
Remember that guy? He
Yeah,
like
because he was like, I remember all the tattoos. And I remember he kind of looked like a buddy of mine.
yeah, and he kind of
Wow, he lied about his wife having
Pretty
cancer.
sure.
Yeah, that's fucked,
pretty
dude.
sure.
That's not as fucked as what Tyler did because Tyler was literally sexual assault. But that's got to be like a Mount Rushmore of shitty things done in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, go on with yours, and then
All right, this is the last one. Oh shit! My arm hit the board. My bad. Okay, last one, and this is a really old one, and I just saw because I think this one just did so much to help progress the show of Big Brother. So this was season 3 from 2002. This was when they added the power veto competition to whereas before, you know, you just kind of got nominated and you just had to wait it out all week and then see who went home. This at least gave you a fighting chance, and it opened up possibilities like a backdoor to where now you could like kind of, you know, backdoor someone by putting up a pawn. And it had Danielle Reyes. That was her first season, and she's got to be the Mount Rushmore. I think we've done a Mount Rushmore before, and if she didn't make it, that was my bad. She was so good that they had to change the game because she made it to final 2, and then she played such a good game that everyone was in a house, like everyone was just got to go home and watch the season and got to see all the lies she told, which is playing Big Brother. And then they got to come back and vote, and that's when no one, like, she lost because everyone got to see how good of a player she was and how she lied. So now they sequester them so they don't get to see how it was going on. They get to see a clip, but they don't get to see everything we see because it would influence their vote. So now they do that because she was such a good player. They had to change the game because now they're like, yeah, you can't see how someone plays their game until the end.
Yep.
Then you can go home and you can watch it. But it was because of Danielle that we have Cass being sequestered in jury house, and we also have the veto comps. So it's just like to me, it's like a landmark season. So it just had to be.
I mean,
included.
shit. Yeah, if you change the game, like you should have been.
And it makes sense because like, people went home and were like watching everything, and they're like, that bitch, like she lied to me about this, she was lying about that. So they got upset.
Oh, okay, that was a good Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, if you like Big Brother,
Yeah,
if you
like Big
didn't,
Brother, which I do. So
it's our podcast,
if you don't
guys.
start a podcast, I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you.
Actually, don't because it's like a saturated market and no one listens anyways.
Yeah. So, with that being said, let's talk more Big Brother.
So, what's been going on in 3 weeks
So,
of Big Brother?
I
I got 2 pages of notes here.
I think, and we'll, obviously we'll try to.
Where are
short
we at
through.
right now?
We're like an hour 15.
Oh, we got 2 hours. We got time.
Actually, this might be a shorter one.
God, fuck it. Keep going. You know where I was going to go.
You and that board.
And I hit the loudest button possible.
You and that board.
It's these two that I need to use. Those are the only two. I need to like rub them gently.
Oh, that's what she said.
It is what she said. Nice.
So speaking of being a comp beast and Mount Rushmores and changing the game, I think Michael is slowly treading on that because this dude has played on 4 vetoes and won all 4.
If there's like a legacy board, he's already skipped ahead like guys that played a whole season.
Yeah, like he needs,
to me, he's over already guys like Josh who won. Josh is a shitty player. Michael's already a better player than Josh ever was, even though Josh won.
Like he needs to chill, like on some comp wins.
Yeah,
like,
and he even brought that up on this last episode. But he's like, "But if I win, I control my destiny." So,
yeah.
So it's like he knows he's like, I could win this, but maybe I shouldn't. But he goes, you know what? I'm just gonna win it. And that's what he did last night for OTEV. He was HOH and he won the veto, which gives you complete control.
Yep.
You run the entire house. There's nothing no one can do.
Yep. And I think last night, I think he was in an interesting spot, and I think the edits were a bit deceiving because on Reddit they were saying how there was that talk of keeping the nom same and getting Monty out. Mm-hmm. That was mentioned like just briefly by Michael, but the edit made it seem like that was a serious consideration.
Like he was thinking about it all week.
But it really wasn't, because he was like, yeah, that would be a great move, but I don't want to show my hand, and I still need my alliance for a little bit longer.
So for those who don't know, they're in an alliance together of 7. And
called the Leftovers.
The Leftovers. And you can only take the alliance so far. If you want to take it to Final 7 and then you just cannibalize each other, that's one thing. What I would do is, if I'm in power and we're already getting close to jury, I'll take that big shot. I think if it was a week or 2 from now, they're going to take that shot. Someone's either going to go after Michael in the alliance, or Michael's going to go after somebody.
And I think, obviously, you want to be the first one to take that shot.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You have to be. If you're going to do it, you have to do it first.
And you have to get all your ducks in a row, and you have to get your soldiers, because once that fracture happens, you got to know.
Oh, yeah, it splinters the whole house.
You've got to know that you've got your people.
Like, you have to go outside of your alliance to, like, who would it be? Like, Alyssa, Indy, Jasmine?
I would pull Kyle, because Kyle already has a number attached to him.
Smart. There you go.
I would pull Kyle because he's going to pull Alyssa.
And you won't tell Joseph because he's really tight with Monty. So, you just have to know who to talk to. And you go, hey, this is what I'm thinking this week. We're going to take that shot. I need your vote. That's what I love about Big Brother. It's all strategy. And you have to think so far ahead. Like, you can't just go with the flow and just like whatever happens, happens. No, you need to be every day. You got to be thinking, what's best for my game 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, not just tomorrow and Friday, but like what's long term, short term, and in game, what's my best what's my better options? We
kind of just jumped right in the middle there, and that was my fault. But do you have like a recap, or
how
do you want to do it?
This is like from 2 weeks ago. I just put how Pooch nominated himself as a pawn.
That was dumb.
Which you never do. It was Pooch and Taylor, and he thought both of them were thinking they were safe. He thought, because rightfully so, everyone's been after Taylor for some reason. I think the girls are just jealous, and they just think she's catty or self-absorbed or whatever, narcissistic.
Which couldn't be farther from the truth.
She's actually a really sweet person, but he thought, okay, I'll go up against Taylor because everyone wants them out. Nominates himself. Everyone knows you don't nominate yourself because pawns go home. Put on here that Joseph and Pooch, if you remember, they had that bromance that they focused on for like one episode. They were getting kind of like really Brokeback Mountain style, like hanging on each other and biting earlobes and shit. It's like, hey, I love Matt, but I'm not nibbling his earlobes.
Like Zach, they're training into Zach and Frankie territory.
Yeah, who actually fucked each other.
Yep.
I put that Jasmine 100% puts on that thick, dumb Southern twang accent for the cameras.
And I hate that because we turn on live feeds every now and again just to have something on, and it's not there. Like
I know, because she does it for the cameras, but like for the one-on-one camera when she does the confessional stuff. Yeah, the diary rooms.
Because the producers tell her to ham it up.
I told them I was from Texas and they told me to put on this cowboy hat, I'd say I'm not fucking putting on cowboy. It's like, that's a stereotype. I'm not going to stereotype myself.
It just sucks because when you watch her on live feeds, like, obviously not, when they're filming or live, it's not there.
Her. She's fucking annoying as hell.
She's annoying. I'm just saying, person. I'm not going to let something that's just not true be out there. I don't think she really talks like that. I think production
she has a fake personality.
She's got a fake accent.
She's doing all this for attention then, for camera time.
I think the producers tell her, ham it up.
I think she has a choice to say no. It's not like they put a gun to her head and told her to do this
No.
dumb accent. Then she's doing it by choice.
Then they all
They nudge you a little bit, but then she's the one that does it.
They all do DRs by choice because the DRs are so cringy now.
They are.
They're
And that's the one thing where you're like, yeah, that's fucking fake
and
as
these
hell.
stupid one-liners that they have them put on, like
They really started that like in the last 5 to 7 years.
I hate it.
Before it would be
DRs
like,
were so good back in the day.
before you could tell like they really had to edit it because they're like, all right, this guy went on for 30 minutes and let's cut it down to 2 minutes. So let's just chop it up. And now it's like they're reading a fucking script.
Provided by them, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I hate her. She always used those like, you look as good as a chicken wing in an air fryer.
Yeah.
Or you look as spicy as a hot wing on a summer day. And it's like, no one fucking talks like that. Just shut the fuck up.
I think that's provided by production.
It
too.
is, but she goes into it. She goes, "Oh, well, people are gonna like me," or she does it because she gets camera time.
Probably.
No, there's no defending her. I don't know about that. Let's see. Michael won the veto, and I put that he's my new pick to win. So I said that like 3 weeks ago. I think Michael, like we said, has got the best chance, but he's also putting a big target on his back. Because who did we pick? I picked Monty, and you picked Nicole. So she's already out. My guy's still in, but I think he's got a target. So if we can do later. Like I wanted to revisit our fuck, marry, kill, and revisit our pick to win. I would say Michael, but he's almost too good.
I would say Michael, but I also think Joseph is playing a really good game.
Yeah,
I think
he's really likable.
I think
he's cool.
Yeah, I think he's playing a really good game. I don't really see. I think Turner has an outside shot if he can keep his head and just
he's redeemed himself a little bit.
Yeah, I need to look into those SA allegations that his sister put out, sexual assault.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it was domestic. Maybe it was DV.
I think it was domestic violence or something like that. Because I'm watching this last week, and you know when you make up your mind about somebody, like, oh, I can't stand that guy, but then you're like, well, maybe he's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll come around on him.
Yeah.
Because the stuff he was doing with like Jasmine Muffin, that shit was funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I like that. So Pooch went home, of course, because he nominated himself.
He's dumb.
That was how that week ended. So now there's a new term about pooching yourself. You know,
and we got to give him credit if he kind of inspires something that carries on in the game. Then
that's his legacy. That's his legacy for sure.
And then that was what we thought was going to be the dumb move of the season until it was followed up the next.
We got that coming up. So this is last week. This is when the leftover alliance was formed. It's Monty, Joseph, Turner, Kyle, Michael, Taylor, and Brittany, which is a solid fucking alliance.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of everything. I put Nicole as a cunt and misinterpret what Taylor said, and then Nicole tells Daniel, and the two gang up on Taylor, and that's where like I think America fell in love with Taylor because she really did. Like Nicole was crying about something, and Taylor tried to console her. She thought she was crying about her mother, so she said, if you have to go home, I'll understand. Like, don't feel bad. And she goes, that's what she's like, got all. And then she made it seem like how Taylor like ganged up on her and told her like she's like, I don't quit. I don't know what the meaning of quitting is. Which I told Claire, I was like, well, she quit being a fucking cop, didn't she? She was a cop for 10 years and she's not anymore, so she quit doing that. And then she just spreads all these lies about Taylor, and then Daniel gangs up on her and just breaks her down, dude.
Daniel he dressed her down in front of everybody. I told her to fuck off.
He was like, America's watching you. They know all about you. He's like, don't do it anymore. Like just don't even try.
America's watching you make a fucking fool of yourself.
Yeah, and that really wasn't. It was heartbreaking because she was like, I just try to be nice to people, and every time it blows up in my. And I think everyone at that point was like, this felt for her.
It was really Turner in that speech that week.
Yeah, he stood up for her. Like, that was a G move.
It's enough. And I was listening to the Winner Circle with Derek and Cody, and they were like, I think if it was another point in the game, and definitely outside of the house, Joseph would have stepped right in and.
Well, they said Joseph's the one that kind of started it. He's like, why are we doing this to her? Like, why can't nobody talk to her? Why do y'all treat her like this? And he kind of started the whole movement of like, let's just stick up for her. And that's how it formed. That's how the alliance formed. They were like, you get treated like shit. No one talks to us. Let's form a group together, because there were other alliances in the house, but they pulled each other together. And that's what I like about this. Yeah. And the girls, we get the festy bestie twist, which makes you pair up with a partner. And if you get nominated, you go up together.
Yeah, I think, just a little sidebar, I think that's run its course. I'm ready.
They said it ends next week.
Yeah, but I hope, or tonight.
Tonight, yeah, because they said it's going to end. But so Turner won that HOH, and he backdoors Amira, who was extremely cocky, talking about how easy this game is.
Yeah,
how she's just coasting along, but she gets blindsided.
I will say she was starting to connect some dots, and like she was
a little too late though.
A little late, but
wasn't it her and Terrence were up, and it's like, or it was her and was it Terrence? Yeah, because Terrence picked his new team, and I'm like, bro, if you go on the block with Terrence, you know you're going home. Ain't nobody voting out Terrence.
Yeah.
Why would you vote him out? He's not going to win anything. You know? And that's another thing I'll bring up real quick. Jasmine with her injury, that's bullshit. That leg should be already healed. And if you think about it, that's her crutch. Because if you're hurt and you can't compete, why am I going to vote you out? You're not a threat to me. I'm going to take out everybody else, and I'm going to leave your dumb ass there because you can't even compete. She's going to float along because of this injury. She's going to milk it. That's what everyone's saying. It's been weeks now. And
All I'm saying is Christmas won a competition on a broken foot.
And Christmas actually broke a foot.
Yeah.
This looked like it just kind of, everyone kind of.
It was a pretty bad sprain. I've done that. It was bad.
It was pretty bad.
But-
It was as bad as a barnyard. I don't even. I can't
Bowl
think
of
of her-
butter beans.
Yeah, fucking stupid. But I was like, but that's her crutch. Why would you vote her out knowing she can't compete, knowing she can't win? They're just gonna let her float.
People on Reddit were saying, yeah, like she's doing herself a disservice because she stayed on that cart too long. Now she's on the cane too long. Like they gave you a boot. Like you need to start putting
Big
weight.
ass boot. She's got a big boot on that foot. It's like I know you're okay.
Like you need to start putting weight on it. Like, and even some like physical therapist was like, yeah, it's time for her to like start putting some weight on it, or it's gonna get much worse.
Yep. All right, so that was Amira getting blindside. That was amazing. Next week, Monte wins HOH and he nominates Indy and Alyssa. Daniel wins the veto and he uses it because he thinks he was playing like so many moves ahead. And they were like, you know what? I'm just going to keep the noms the same. I don't want to do it. And he's like, nah, fuck that. He's like, I know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
They don't want me to use this. He thought he was outsmarting. He goes, you know what? I'm going to use it, which is what they wanted all along. So he fell right into his trap. So so what did I say? Where was I? He uses it. So Monty uses the nomination now to backdoor Taylor and Nicole, and they were thinking Taylor was going to be the target all along, and Nicole gets voted out 9-1. So basically, Daniel unknowingly backdoored his best friend, and now he's completely alone in the house. And then I have Big Brother now. I put first word, Daniel's a dumbass, and he backdoored Nicole and is alone in the game, which becomes his strategy because he's a free agent. So that's the only thing he can use it now is look, I got nobody. If you help me out, I'll be your vote. I'll be your shield. That's really when you got nothing left in the game. And you're just throwing yourself at the mercy of the house. You're like, let me be your shield. Let me be your spear. Let me be the one to take these big moves for you or take these big shots for you.
And then anytime the moment that Terrence came up to you and was like, I have a plan, you should have known you were fucked.
Yeah, Terrence
Because
ain't
Terrence,
a mastermind.
I love him.
God bless him.
He's an old dude in the house. I like those guys, but
Terrence,
last night he made himself look, when they were in the room like talking to the camera.
Oh, they thought they just
Daniel's
won.
Daniel's staying.
Yeah, that was cringy.
Yeah.
I was going to say Terrence, Jasmine, and Indy floaters.
Uh-huh.
So Michael continues to kill it by winning the HOH. He nominates Monty, Joseph, and Terrence because they're the besties together. He does that to hide their alliance of the leftovers, which is smart. It's OTEV, so anyone who knows that, I'm not going to explain it, but it's the OTEV competition. Michael wins veto, and he thought about using it, at least for a second, but then everyone else in the house that wasn't in their group thought it would be smart to go up and try to persuade him. And Michael's a very smart guy. He's a fucking lawyer. He's smarter than all of us.
He's a member of Mensa.
He's a member of Mensa, bro. Like, you're not, and everyone's like, I bet if we all told him how big of a move this is, we'll convince him. And Michael goes, isn't that kind of weird how everyone came up and had the same thing to tell me? Almost like they're working together.
Yeah, 5 minutes of
one
each
after
other.
another. He's like, so I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to give them what they want. Or no, what did he say? I am going to use this. I'm sorry. I am going to use this so I can nominate someone else because I'm not going to get Monty out. He might have entertained it for a minute, like he said, but the
edits made it seem
he's
that
smarter
way.
than all of us, dude. He knows what he's doing. So he uses it, and then he uses Daniel's own words against him.
Oh, which is great.
What he said to Taylor about, you've hurt some really people in this house, and you should take this time to reflect on your words and your actions and apologize. And it was like, dude, this is a good season. Like, these guys have grown such big fucking balls, and they are swinging them all every episode. And so he nominated Daniel and Kyle because they're a pair. And we'll see who goes home tonight. It's going to be Daniel because Kyle's in the leftovers. And then it's going to be an endurance comp. So we won't know.
Wall comp, which is awesome.
Which is, big endurance comp. It's like another like very famous,
Legendary
legendary Big Brother comp. It's going to go all night.
That's what she said.
And then we won't find out unless you're on Big Brother or on Reddit. You won't find out who wins until Sunday.
Unless you're watching the live feeds, because it will be on the live feeds.
I even get the spoiler tag on Reddit, and I'll still click it, but I'm not going to do it this time.
No, I don't click it.
Oh, but my updated fuck, marry, kill. I'm fucking Alyssa. How did nobody choose her? She's so
a smoke
hot.
show.
She's by far the hardest person in that house, and she
Smoke
proves
show.
it every day. I'm still going to marry Joseph because he's a stud muffin and he's a fucking lawyer.
And he's caring. He's really
He's
sweet.
so fucking sweet and funny and
Sweet.
charming and handsome and strong. How am I not going to marry that guy? And I'm killing Jasmine. Fuck that girl. I can't stand Jasmine, dude. I can't stand that fake ass twang. And she's been milking that leg injury for so long. The whole muffin thing with
Muffin Gate.
with Turner. I was like, when she started crawling the ground, I was like, that's just for camera. She just wants to be on camera. The whole thing, she's like, she had one joke that should have lasted for 3 minutes, and she spread it out for 7 fucking days.
And she could have endeared herself to the other housemates and just been a good sport about it. But no,
Yeah, I can't stand it, dude. When I saw that, I was like, I'm fucking done.
All right, so we're up to date. As we're recording now at...
Like, the last hour's been Big Brother.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Guys.
It's only on during the summer, so, for the 7 people who listen, you're halfway there. Oh, next jury's coming up. We get to find out who's going to be in the jury soon.
Yep.
Guys, watch Big Brother, okay? I've already converted like 4 people. It's great.
All right, and if we haven't marginalized our audience anymore, let's wrap up with Cowboy Talk.
Okay.
We're in training camp, full swing. We had a practice the last couple of days with Denver. I've got some quotes on that. Let me get to that. So these Dallas Cowboy riders, kind of react to what they saw today. Nick Eatman, who's a big writer for DallasCowboys.com, he says, my overall takeaway was more about the energy. It's always hard to tell who wins certain drills and reps. Sometimes the fans are cheering because the Denver receivers down the field with the ball after a 30-yard catch, only to find out that Micah Parsons had a sack behind the line of scrimmage, but they let the play go on. But it did seem like the Broncos were interesting in ruffling feathers of the Cowboys. We saw a lot of little skirmishes here and there. That could have been a few more, but it was clear the Cowboys coaching staff had instructed the team not to react to every single exchange. There was always a balance there because you don't want to see fight after fight, but I thought the Broncos were a more physical team on both sides of the ball, especially at the line of scrimmage. Something to worry about, definitely not for a practice, but it was something that stood out.
Yeah, we haven't been physical in how long? It sucks.
Yeah.
I wish we were that nasty. Like, that's one thing I've always envied about Philly. Like, the only thing is they got that attitude, man.
Speaking of Philly,
they're just fucking dogs.
have you seen videos out of their camp in Jordan Davis?
Jordan Davis.
The
Is
number,
that Georgia guy they got?
Dude.
Is he a fucking beast?
he is going to be a fucking problem.
God damn it.
He is going to be a fucking problem.
I hate the Eagles because I actually envy them in certain aspects. Like, they have a great front office. They actually
They
have
killed the draft this year.
Absolutely. They got Cameron, was it Jurgens, like in the second, who I absolutely wanted.
They got Nakobe Dean and
Didn't they get Punt God? I don't think they did.
Matt Ariza.
Dude, yeah, they killed it.
But
I
yeah,
remember like thinking like, God
Jordan
damn it.
Davis is going to
I
be.
hate to see him do
He
good.
is fucking bullying people.
And they got a great line.
Yeah,
Like, their line's no joke. That's like going against Zach Martin and Smith of our guys.
yeah.
God
But
damn.
Rob Phillips writes, I saw more of the Cowboys offense versus the Broncos defense and vice versa, so I'll focus there. I echo what Dak Prescott said afterward. The offense got better Thursday, but it's hard not to working against a talented group like Denver. The Broncos were physical up front and made it tough on the run game with varied pre-snap looks, though the Cowboys did create some space on certain plays. The first-team offense had success in the short passing game with some quick throws, and Prescott was able to hit some plays downfield to CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown, who continues to be as impressive as any player in training camp.
That's good.
Some good, some bad, but overall it was quality work against one of the better defenses in the league.
And wasn't Noah Brown re-signed this year?
Yeah.
I think we chose him over Cedric. Well, probably because money. Obviously, Cedric Wilson's probably better, but
Yeah, but everything, I listen every day. There's 2 podcasts that I listen to that are covering it pretty heavily.
well, what are they called, man?
Love of the Star, and that's Brian Broaddus and Bobby Belt. And you
Love them both.
don't get no better than that. And then
Don't get no better than this.
good old bowl of baked butter beans. And then About Them Cowboys with KT and Hellman and a couple other guys. Patrick Walker writes, it was an up and down day for the Cowboys in their scrimmage against Broncos on Thursday with players like Micah Parsons, Terrell Basham, and Dak Prescott leading the group of ups while those vying for the role of backup swing tackle joined the crew of downs. And the offensive line found itself struggling at times. The chippiness escalated, so at least they have a heartbeat and accompanying fire to improve. Zach Martin and Tyron Smith held their own as usual. Terrence Steele wasn't perfect, but showed strong improvement. That said, there are justifiable question marks about what happens when the starters aren't on the field. Josh Ball had a bad day at the office, and with rookie 5th-round pick Matt Waletzko unlikely to return anytime soon, Ball has to start stringing together good days to convince the Cowboys he's a viable option in that role. There's good news to be had in assessing how well Noah Brown continues to perform for Dak Prescott, and Dennis Houston joins him in having an impressive camp. So maybe the Cowboys aren't in dire straits after all at the wide receiver position.
So,
and his caveat is no preseason games have been played. So let me address the Cowboys wide receiver position real quick.
yeah.
While I was about to say while I still have the thought, as the thought goes away. Dennis Houston, I don't know if you've heard much about him. He's a undrafted free agent from like Western Illinois or some shit. He's impressed. From all reports. Ton of first team reps. Dak seems to have some freaky kind of chemistry, like super quick with him. Simi Fehoko is another guy that's impressed. I didn't realize this about him. He's like 6'3", like 200 pounds, and he ran a 4.40.
That's fucking fast.
Like that's a specimen. Like
that's a good outside receiver.
That's no joke. And
Yeah.
I guess it's because he didn't get any playing time, and I didn't realize
he was like a special teamer.
He was that good of an athlete, but he's impressed. But while we're on that, I found an article for 4 receivers the Cowboys could end up acquiring via trades.
Trades? They got free agents.
So one is Nelson Aguilar.
Nope.
The Patriots.
He can't even catch a baby. You ever hear that clip?
Yeah, dude.
Out here catching babies, unlike Aguilar.
He would have dropped him.
That's another great Philly sports moment.
So one is, but he's had a good day, he's had a good camp for the Patriots from what I've read.
Patriots fucking suck at wide receivers, man. As good of a team they are, they just can't figure it out.
But with James Washington out, he's going to be out 10 weeks. We don't really know what.
I think Gallup's back by 3, 4.
Probably 4 at the very latest.
Yeah.
Some are saying after week 1 he'll only miss the Bucs game, but
I've heard that.
Here's the one that I'm really interested in.
Okay.
Jalen Reagor.
I know why.
He's a Waxahachie kid. TCU kid.
Where's he at now? He didn't get.
He's in Philly.
They picked up his 5th year option.
He's not in his 5th year. He's like in his 3rd year.
Oh, okay. He's probably making big money though if he's a first round pick. Probably a decent contract. Well, I mean, we could afford it, but
the write up on him it says if there's ever a receiver that needed to change his scenery, it's Reagor. He seems to have lost confidence during his time with the Eagles. Just like Aguilar, Reagor hasn't lived up to his first round selection to the frustration of many Eagles fans. That frustration with the addition of A.J. Brown and Zach Pascal have put Reagor and front offices around the league on notice that his spot on the roster isn't secure. So he might not even make the team.
And you can give up a 7th.
Yeah.
Hey,
Rager's talent, while it hasn't been on display in Philadelphia, is still there and just needs to be molded while also boosting his confidence. He hasn't had a good quarterback play his entire time in the league. I think this is going into year 3 or 4. I can't remember. He hadn't had good quarterback play. Put him in Dallas with Dak Prescott. Let him learn from a guy like CeeDee Lamb.
Team too.
Yeah.
I think that alone would boost his confidence.
Yeah.
Fun fact, though, about Reagor. Picked 1 pick ahead of Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Thank God the Eagles dropped the ball on that one. Imagine them with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, and he would add a ton of speed to the wide receiver group.
And it's just depth. It's not like we're going to be like, hey, you're our number 1.
Yeah.
It's like, you're our gadget guy.
And is he better than Noah Brown, Dennis Houston, Simi Fehoko? Probably. On pedigree, yeah.
Yeah. He would come here and immediately be probably our number 2 behind Lamb just because Gallup's out and I don't know how Tolbert's out. That's what I was going to ask. You think is it week 1, everything stays the same? Is it Lamb and Noah Brown on the outside and Tolbert in the slot?
Probably.
He just seems like a slot guy. I guess I just picture him being smaller. I don't even know his measurables. He's not? I don't know why I'm picturing him being like
he's like
under
6'1".
6 foot. I picture him being like 5'11". I saw a picture of him just being shredded down though, which is great. They were like, this is our not quite Debo or DK, but you know what I mean, just our guy with like very little body fat. Whereas CD's a skinny guy, but CD's kind of a skinny guy. At least he was when he first came in, whereas Tolbert was like, yeah, that guy is fucking jacked.
So here's another one, and it's a guy I'd never even heard of, Kelvin Harmon, Washington Commanders. They say Harmon is a lesser-known name, but to many could be another curveball thrown our way with his 6'3", 213-pound frame. He may not be the burner on the field that many want, but he is very quarterback-friendly. He has a knack for finding soft spots in the zone. Harmon is a former 6th-round pick of the Commanders who is still trying to work his way up the depth chart. He hasn't been utilized to his full potential. Cowboys might want to give him a look because he's a good route runner and blocker in the running game. So let me get to that 4th one.
Oh,
Josh Malone, Tennessee Titans. Never heard of that guy either.
Nope. I'll say real quick, shout out to that time I misread the commander's name and told everyone at work they're the Commodores.
I like that much better.
And I went on for like 3 days. Then I had to tell some people, I was like, yeah, actually they're commanders. I felt it was like breaking news. Like, guys, everyone listen up. And I made the announcement and I just misread it. It's like, they're the Commodores.
So, and then another article, and I won't go into it.
No, that was a good list. I would love to see Rager here.
Me too.
I think that would change the scenery, like you said, coming home and that release the burden. It's like, hey, not only we don't care that you were first round pick, you don't have to live up to that hype. You're our 4th or 5th guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna have design plays for you to come in 10 times a game.
And then this one is for potential Dallas Cowboy roster bubble players with trade value. Number 1 is Tristan Hill, who I've heard is having a great camp, but our defensive line is so deep.
I don't know.
He may be a casualty.
Unless we could get, I feel like that's a position where it's like offensive and defensive line. Like, give me as many as I can.
Yeah,
Because you never know. That could go. Because last year, look how great we were stacked at wide receiver, and now we're talking about who can we trade for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Changes quick.
Yeah.
Number 2, Matt Faranock. He's a guard who hasn't had much time.
Again, I need all those guys.
Yeah. Number 3, Terrell Basham. He's a D end. He had 39 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and a forced fumble last year. But we signed Dante Fowler Jr. and drafted Sam Williams.
Well, he might. That actually makes sense then because we have more depth there.
Yeah. And number 4 is Malik Jefferson, which he's on our team, and I didn't realize that. Texas native and NFL journeyman Malik Jefferson just can't seem to catch a break. After initial excitement about signing with the Cowboys and working in training camp, the Dallas front office signed Anthony Barr. Now with their depth at linebacker, Jefferson will need to beat out Luke Gifford in order to secure a spot.
Big Luke Gifford fan.
Yeah. So those are kind of some trade options going into the season.
Well, you know, it'd be perfect is like if Philly needs a linebacker and we could do a straight up like Jefferson for Rager.
Yeah, I don't think that works. I think you'd have to be Jefferson in like a 5th.
Think so?
6th.
We traded Cooper for a fucking 5th.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trade market's weird, dude.
Because this guy, why would we give up any asset for him when we are going to cut him? We can sign him off waivers.
True. But we're going to do the same thing. But that way you don't have to fuck with the claim system because what if a team ahead of you claims them?
True.
That's why you do it is just to avoid the order of claiming.
But yeah, so that's kind of the Cowboys camp. I know it's just a real quick rundown.
I'll just say, too, I think the Rager option's probably far shot because it's so rare to trade in your division like that because why do I want to help your team get better? You know, that's the whole thing is I don't want to trade with Philly or Washington or New York. I don't want them to succeed. I'm not going to give them anybody.
Well, my argument back was like, are we really getting better? You don't think this guy can play, so let me have him.
That's true.
But yeah, so I saw today that Cowboys are trying to get every opportunity for Pollard to get on the field, so he's even taking snaps in the slot. And
I saw some post about that.
Wide receiver work.
You know what? Whatever.
You can get him the ball.
I was gonna say, get him 20 touches a game. I don't give a shit if it's running back or slot or wildcat.
Yeah.
You just want to get guys the ball, guys that can make big plays like Deebo Samuel. He doesn't have a position. He doesn't need a position. Just get him the ball.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what you do with those guys that are just explosive.
They play Denver Saturday night, so it'll be cool to have some football. I mean,
I can't watch it though, man. I shouldn't be so bummed out because we're getting a babysitter, so it's gonna be like just me and Claire.
Oh, nice.
But
you can record it.
I was like, dude, Claire's gonna be asleep like at 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
I'll watch it. I'm just gonna watch it later.
And a lot of people don't like preseason, but draft nerds like me and you.
Are you kidding me?
I love watching.
Yeah, I want to see Simi Fehoko out there.
Yeah.
I want to see Tyler Smith. Like, I want to see how he does on the line. We're gonna see Williams off the edge. That's where you're like, no, watch all the young guys.
Yeah,
I don't know who's our backup quarterback right now.
Right now it's Cooper Rush and Will Greer.
You know what? I liked Will Greer in college.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think he was actually like a Heisman hopeful for like half of his year.
Did you see that clip of Cooper Rush? Almost, because like Jerry at training camp, he's up in the tower. There's that tower, like that scaffolding tower that's like 3 stories tall. Did you see that clip of Cooper Rush almost hitting Jerry in the fucking tower?
On purpose?
No, with an errant pass.
Oh, my God.
Like he missed that bad. He hit the tower.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
That thing is so far up by itself, and it's off to the side of the field.
Yeah, it's like,
obviously.
Well, it's kind of in the middle of like, because they have, multiple practice fields out there in Oxnard, and it's like kind of in the middle, so he can kind of keep an eye on like, watch all
like
the
a 360
fields.
view.
Yeah. So it's kind of in the middle, but he was trying to like
That's
throw
still
like a fade
throw.
out, fucking something
to the moon apparently.
And he just dings it off this tower. I'm like, oh my
Jerry's
God.
at that point where you might give the man a heart
This is the
attack
same guy that went into fucking Minnesota and won us a football game.
on Halloween.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it, dude. That's when I was like, oh, we're going fucking NFC Championship.
Were we watching
game.
that game together?
No.
No.
I don't even think we went trick or treating. I think we got like lost in the crowd because that neighborhood gets fucking wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
Harbin will literally go
Yeah.
1,000, 2,000 people deep.
It looks like Mardi Gras. Like if you
Yeah.
stand at one end of the street and just look down.
What is
like
that? What's
Mardi
that
Gras.
street? Bourbon Street? It looks like
Yeah.
fucking Bourbon Street on Halloween. It's great. Like I know I want to get Troy and Jenna down here because they're big Halloween fans.
Yeah.
And I know they're probably doing their thing at their house, but I was like, dude, you got to come down here
Yeah.
one year and check this out.
All right. You got anything else? You
Just what
absolutely
I'm
wanna
watching
cover?
and listening to.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Well, I got a lot because it's been a while.
Okay.
I kind of broke it into tiers. I got tier 1, tier 2. Actually, I got tier 1 plus because this was just on another level. This is finally watched it. It's a 3-part documentary series, Paradise Lost, about the West Memphis 3. It's on HBO Max. So part 1 came out like in 1994 because they immediately started filming when everything went down in the trial, and it's just so in depth. Like there's there for everything. They were there in the courts. They were there when the lawyers, were like debriefing in their office. Like it was the most in depth documentary I've ever seen. And then part 2 came out like in 1999 after the verdict, how they're doing, and then part 3 came out like 10 years later. So it really follows them throughout like almost 20-year period. I guess it's more like 15.
And a couple of
year
those
period.
dudes are working on like innocence projects, right?
Yeah, that's how they got him involved, which if you know anything about the West Memphis 3, they're obviously innocent, but it's just so in-depth and how detailed they followed them. And I mean, I think it's the best documentary I've ever seen. So that's on a level by itself. That's HBO Max. Other ones on tier 1, I got Archive 81, which is almost like a found footage horror docuseries. Not docuseries, I guess it is like a docuseries because they make it seem like it's found footage, but it's fictionalized, obviously. But it's hard to explain. Just watch a trailer, and it didn't disappoint. It was interesting. The whole story, there was one episode that was kind of like a boring, but you usually have to have that one to set up characters and storylines. But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was on Netflix. The Captain on Hulu, which is like the Derek Jeter show.
Yeah.
I just like it because it shows so much baseball from like 1997 to like 2006. That was like my favorite period of baseball. That's when I was all about baseball. It was all I cared about. Cowboys sucked, so I was obviously a big Cowboys fan, but I think for that period of time, like I was more of a baseball fan than even a football fan. In theaters, we saw Justice League Super Pets, which is like
that?
Superman stock. Dude, it was good. I really liked it. Claire's a hater and didn't like it, but me and Ellie were like high-fiving when we walked out. Another kids movie on Netflix, The Sea Beast, which is about like a little girl and these guys that are basically pirates, but their job is to like capture and kind of kill basically like these giant sea creatures that are like the size of like a battleship,
I thought you were talking about one of my ex-girlfriends.
Well, could have been the real bitchy one, right? There's a movie on Amazon called Emergency, where it's about like these two black and one, like, I don't know what they call him. I don't think he's Hispanic. College roommates that find like this drunk, passed out girl in their room, and they have to deal with this situation. And they're basically, the thing is, look, we're 3 colored people with a passed out white girl in our room. Like, this doesn't look good. Like, and it's just like, what do you do in that situation? It's like a unimaginable situation, and what do you do with that situation? But it was really good. And I watched the new movie, Prey, the new Predator movie on Hulu.
How's that?
Really fucking good, dude.
Cool.
And if the dog isn't nominated for a Best Supporting Role, Academy Award in a Best Supporting Role, what are we doing? That dog was a fucking G. And I literally mean supporting role, like, saved that girl's life.
It's a res dog, right? A reservation dog?
Yeah, it's based on, like, everyone in that movie I saw, too, was, like, all native. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, the first movie where, like, everyone was, like, a Native American. Yeah, and then the actor, and then the director is, like, the whitest guy, Tier 2, still good, but, these are, like, the less, you got to put someone down there. I put I Just Killed My Dad on Netflix. Mm-hmm. I need you to watch that. It's 3-part. You saw all 3?
No, I saw the recommendation.
You got to see it because then I got to know, what do you think at the very end about, like, how the outcome was. Blown Away, which is the glass blowing class that me and Claire like, because she's obviously a glass artist. Mm-hmm. So they just, it's about them they call it a glory hole. Insert whatever joke you want there. But it runs at like 1800 degrees and it shows them melting it and sculpting it and molding it. And it's very interesting. And it's a competition where every episode someone gets eliminated and you go from 10 to 2 and, the final one. So if you like competition shows, and they make great fucking pieces. I mean, they're beautiful. We saw Lightyear in theaters and now it's on Disney. And I put that, they had that kiss, that controversial kiss,
yeah.
and I saw the clip, and it was wholesome as fuck. I was like, I think the movie just didn't do well in theaters because it honestly just wasn't that great. I think it wasn't on nearly the level of all the other Toy Stories. Like the other ones blow them out of the water. This one was like meh. Like I like Justice League Super Pets more.
Yeah.
So the kiss was very subtle and it was like adorable because it showed their 40-year anniversary and they just like one little kiss on the lips and I was like, I don't think that blew people's minds and like made them like, I don't know. I know it was a big weird thing with Disney, but I just think the movie didn't do well because it wasn't that good. And then I saw The Gray Man, the Ryan Gosling movie, and Ryan Gosling's one sexy motherfucker. Good looking dude, good looking Canadian, and it's on Netflix. Cool. And I like those movies because it's one of those action movies that takes you around the world, and it'll be like Barcelona, Spain, and you get that scene, and then it's like Munich, Germany, and you're in a scene in Germany, and you can tell like they're on location for that. And I just like all those Mission Impossible movies. I appreciate that. And you want me to go through listening, or are you going?
No, you go ahead.
I'm gonna roll here. Okay, Tier 1. The Coming Storm, which is by BBC Radio, and it's a look into QAnon and how fucking crazy it is, and it's more based on that than anything else. And if you're like me and all that shit fascinates you, it's probably the second best thing I've ever seen based around QAnon. And that was on everything on here is on Spotify, by the way, because I don't have an Apple phone. Freakonomics Radio, which is brought to you from NPR. They just have really interesting topics every week. The one I really liked was about sports washing, which talks about the LIV tournament. Necronomipod. Have you heard that?
I've seen it, yeah.
Dude, it's like 3 guys from Cleveland, and they do really interesting cases, but they actually have like really good chemistry, and they're actually really fucking funny. Because usually I hate all the like banter, the unnecessary banter they do, and just bullshitting, which I know is what we do the whole time, so I don't want to take a big shit on it. But I feel like we're actually okay on it, and like kind of funny. And these guys, you can tell like, they're fucking funny, and they do great research. I listened to them. I'm finishing a second. There are two episodes, 2 hours each of Casey Anthony. They did like a 5-parter on West Memphis 3. I mean, it's usually like true crime and a little supernatural, but it's mainly true crime. Tier 2, I did The Killer Psyche, which is a lady who was like an FBI criminal profiler that kind of breaks down.
I listened to some of that.
Yeah. Another one was Execution of Bonnie Lee. That was Robert Blake's wife, and he was put on trial for her murder. And I don't want to give him, even though it's 20 years ago, I bet a lot of people don't know, so I don't want to give it away. But her whole goal in life was to marry a famous person, become famous. Yep. And they said, ironically, what made her famous was her death. And the other one was, this was suggested to me from my buddy Paul, was the Lights Out podcast. And it's like 2 brothers in Colorado, and they do a lot of true crime, but they do a lot of more supernatural. Like they have a lot of those, the Warrens that like The Conjuring are based off of. I can't remember their name. Evelyn or something. It's a married couple. They've been together forever. It's the Warrens. They do a lot of their cases. And the one music thing I've been listening to, album of the fucking year, Sexiest Man Alive, Harry Styles.
Dude,
that album slaps so hard. It's so good.
Dude, I told you. I was like, it was, I don't know, a month ago or maybe longer. I was like, dude, I got
a confession to make. Yeah.
I was like, this fucking new Harry Styles song.
It's so good. And then one night Claire was like at work and doing something in the house, and she's like, yeah, I just listened to the album like back to back in a row. And she's like, it's just such good pop music. And I was like, well, fuck, that's 2 of my favorite people told me about it. Let me listen to it. And then I'm like, yeah, this is like one of the best albums I've heard in a long time.
Dude,
it really is beginning to end. Like there's no skips.
Yeah, man.
It's a great album, dude. I have no problem admitting I love that Harry Styles album. Yeah. No doubt. All right. Yeah. You go.
I haven't been watching anything.
Well, good thing I gave 12 suggestions.
Yes, I'm glad you carried me on that one. Okay. Landry did find this one cartoon that he likes. It's it's an old Cartoon Network show. It's called Clarence. And it's wholesome. Not wholesome, but I mean it's okay. It's not like Big Mouth or well,
that's good.
Yeah, one of these other kind of more mature animation shows, but it's follows Clarence, and he's got his group of little friends, and he's getting into mishaps, and I think he's slightly retarded, but they can't say that. But yeah, it's a wild kind of cartoon following Clarence and the antics he gets in, and he's not very smart, but he's got his ragtag group of friends, and it's just a cool little cartoon that we watch every night before we go to bed. I haven't watched anything really, Big Brother.
Well, football season's starting.
Yeah, football season's starting. FC Dallas, I watch, they play once or twice a week at this point.
Did you watch the All-Star game?
I didn't.
I watched some of it.
No, I didn't. I know we had 2 representatives Listening to, like I said, for the love of the Star, and About Them Cowboys, I did listen to seasons 1 through 4 is ongoing, but 1 through 4 of Chameleon. Their newest one, Scam Likely. It's about scam callers in India, which is, that's been on my radar because there's some YouTubers that I follow that they're actually hackers. So they will basically what happens is they'll call you. And they prey on older people, which makes it more disgusting.
So shitty. Yeah.
But they'll call you and say, "Hey, this is," or they'll send you an email or something, and it'll say, "Your Windows is, antivirus is due to, expire. Please call." And they'll call and they'll run a scam and have you go buy Amazon gift cards or Google or like Visa gift cards and have you pay that way. And,
that should be your first hint. Who pays in gift cards?
Well,
but old people don't know.
And then they run another scam where they say that they're IRS and that a sheriff will be there to arrest them unless they go and do this.
And again, the IRS says we will never call you like that.
Yeah.
Like we'll never send you call you or even email. I think it's all due through mail or
it's mail. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and there's a couple YouTubers that I watched. Like I said, they're hackers and they actually they get these calls and they'll. One guy has like a voice changer where he can act like an older woman or an older man, and then he hacks into their system and he deletes all their files, all their call logs.
Doing the Lord's work.
It's really cool.
Hell yeah, I love that.
His YouTube channel is called Scammer Payback, and he's really cool. He does really good work. There's another guy named Jim Browning, who's more advanced, and he'll actually fucking hack into their camera system and be like, can you tell me what time it is in Los Angeles? Because they'll call they'll say they're in LA, and he'll back them into a corner. And he's like, it's really easy. Just look in your lower right-hand corner. You should be able to tell me what time it is. And it's, they'll stumble over their words. And then...
Do the hackers have thick accents too?
Oh yeah,
I guess they say I'm an immigrant, or obviously, or I just relocated.
They're an Indian accent. I mean,
probably thick as fuck.
And their name is like Steven.
Yeah, that's another big sign.
They think that that's more comforting or convincing if they all have American names. But Jim Browning actually I like that green shirt you're wearing today, and it's cool to watch them freak the fuck out
because they're using their web whatever right here,
and then they have these are major operations that make millions and millions of dollars for the top guy, so they're in call centers, they have cameras up and he can hack into them and look and see the whole operation. So that one was really cool, and the other seasons of Chameleon were good.
Yeah, listen to the Wild Boys one. That's the one I finished. That was a crazy story.
That was a crazy story. Talk about
mental health. That was season 3?
That may have been season 3, yeah.
I think it was, because 2 I didn't finish, and 1 was the Con Queen.
Yeah.
From Thailand or something. That's the one I listened to, and that was wild. Turned out to be a dude. Mm-hmm. Oh, spoiler, my bad. Season 2, I just remember being so many names and just getting caught up. And for some reason,
really good though.
Maybe I should revisit it.
If you could fight through the names and try to just keep track.
Maybe I was just
really good.
Maybe I was just zoning out.
Yeah, it
for
was
a
really
couple.
good. And then what's the other one I listened to? I didn't come with any notes today. But yeah, so and then the Lights Out podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his wife. The main dude and his wife do one called Mile Higher that I think I've recommended to you.
Is it Mile High conspiracies?
They do conspiracies, true crime, stuff like that. They own they obviously smoke. They own a CBD company.
He advertises his own company.
Josh.
It's funny too because it's instead of his producer, it's his producer. Which I thought was pretty fucking clever.
Yeah, so he has Lights Out. They have Mile Higher, and then Kendall, the wife, has True Crime with Kendall.
Oh, so they're like a podcast, they have, conglomerate.
Yes, they've started.
That's their fucking job.
Yeah, they started out pretty small, and then they've grown it to,
That's cool. Good for them.
Cool. Yeah. So I listened to Mile Higher, and then I listened to The Seduction. It was a Dateline miniseries, 5 parts.
That sounds familiar. I might have heard that.
Yeah, it's been promoted. It'll cross promote on some of the ones we listen to. But the Seduction was a Dateline 5-parter. It was good. Other than that, Big Brother, FC Dallas. That's pretty much it. Waiting for football. We got the draft coming up in a couple weeks. So things to look forward to. We got World Cup this fall.
I'll say the one episode that got me started on Necronomicon, if you want to hear it, is about Unit 731. Have you heard about that? It was basically all the experiments that the Japanese ran on their. It was basically about them doing it to the Chinese.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit was worse than the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff I heard, like the worst sentence I've ever heard in my life on that episode, like the stuff they did to people. So that was really fucked up. And like I said, they're goofy guys, like they joke around a lot.
Yeah.
There's not much you can joke around about Unit 731.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling dark, listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Just type in Unit 731, and the first episode that came up for me is an episode for Necronomicon. That's why I listened to it, and that's what got me started.
Yeah, I'm gonna check them out. I'm gonna subscribe to them when we
Yeah,
get off.
just listen at your own risk. They'll say like, hey, we talk a lot of bad stuff, but this is probably the most fucked up thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. All right, well that's it. That was a good comeback show, guys. If you hear that music, we're wrapping it up. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We appreciate each and every one of you.
You sound like Julie Chen Mingvez right now.
Don't compare me to that.
Be kind to one another.
This is Matt Edwards. Please be kind.
That's such a terrible sign off. And then I'm not even gonna hit the button. And this is Andrew, and go fuck yourself, Julie
Go
Chen.
fuck yourself. All right, but seriously, guys, thanks to all of you for listening and hanging in there with us. But for Matt
And I'm Andrew.
we're out.